Start the stream.
Stay at the stream.
Start the stream.
His first U.S. kickboxing match was in Coconut Grove, Florida.
Ooh.
Coconut Grove.
Coconut Grove.
Coconut Grove.
Grove.
Me trying to practice me accent.
Please. Please do.
Coconut Grove.
Oh, God.
Griv.
Yes, Griv.
Grieve.
That's how you say grove in New Zealand. Griv.
Hey, Internet.
Are we on the internet?
Hey,
oh,
that's
my
internet.
God.
Cool.
Hey, it's the internet.
The internet is cool.
I don't know about that.
The internet is cool. There are people on the internet that are not cool.
We're on the Internet.
We are cool.
Shit.
Are you sure we're online?
Well, you should be.
Maybe I unfollowed the BMFcast.
Why'd you do that, dude?
Gasp. YouTube says the internet can totally see you now.
Oh my God. Maybe I
Man,
where
while I
am-
sleep?
Yeah.
Yes. While my
I don't
back
think I like
gently
that.
sleeps.
I don't sleep
Is
gently.
that a tweet?
I sleep hard,
Mickey.
man.
Is that a tweet?
Well,
I'm going to retweet.
Well, Mickey sleeps.
Oh, there's a tweet.
did it tweet out?
I tweeted out.
All right.
Oh, look.
Just retweet that right there.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
A twit.
Crikey.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like BMX Bandits all over again.
Bandits.
Bandits.
Uh-oh. Where's the button? All right. Nailed it.
What are you nailing?
I nailed turning off the volume before
Oh,
it made any noise.
good job.
Yeah, I'm the best.
Congrats.
Yes, grads.
I had to use volume because we were watching the World Cup on the airplane
Oh,
on the way back.
did you win?
Yes, I won.
Good.
In that I made a friend for 3.5
You want
hours.
the
Oh, cool.
digital.
I would like to see the digital
Did you pay for the Wi-Fi or did
versatile
they?
disc.
Neither. It was so Southwest gives you like
Oh,
a
that's
little
right.
like TV
Yep.
sort of option. So we watched it on ESPN or whatever was showing the World
cool.
Cup. Like he was watching it on his. He's kind of a simple man. He was watching it on his phone, but holding his phone vertically, and the
Oh,
horizontal,
that's unfortunate.
obviously horizontal video. He's just holding his phone, looking at it like this, and I'm like, this dude's watching the World Cup in the worst way. So he was
going
watching-
vertical.
Yeah, he was holding it vertical, so his screen was effectively like 2 inches.
Yeah, like an old iPod video.
Right.
Yeah.
So after about 3 minutes of that, I was like, oh God, I'll just pull my laptop out and let him watch it on my laptop. And we watched it together and laughed.
At least the rear of this DVD is like,
Rear.
indicative of the actual movie. It's
It's darkness.
dark as fuck, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love that all of the descriptions on the internet just say deadliest hands of kung fu, longest arm of the law.
Yep.
He's not part of the law at
nope.
any point.
I think he got deputized.
No.
No.
He did because he was on the case.
No.
That when he was shown
On
that,
his own case.
when he was shown
He
that
should have
presentation.
recused himself.
No, he became an agent of that agency.
Chaos.
So this disc right here is proof of that DVD does not stand for digital video disc.
Why?
Because it says DVD video.
Right, digital
So-
video disc video,
It's no.
DVDV,
Digital versatile disc video.
DVDA.
No.
Yeah,
It's DVD.
it's a DVD.
DVD.
Die, vi, die.
No.
So right. I was
Nailed it.
spot on.
Yeah.
It was like I was there.
Yep, it was like we were back in that BMX Bandits all over again.
BMX Bandits.
Oh, Bindits.
Bandits.
Bindits.
Right, like Beckham.
Yes.
Bandit. Like Beckham.
Beanie. Beat.
I love the Australians are probably listening to us with their accents just going,
They're asleep.
Wait, what are they doing?
I assume that's what Americans sound like to them.
They're not wrong. They're not wrong at all.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah. Capital punishment.
Capital punishment.
Now that's what I call capital punishment.
It's capital.
Capital
Capital.
punishment.
Punishment.
Keep it.
All
Penis.
vowels in that accent are just E.
They are.
I know all me vowels. E, 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 and sometimes E.
E.
Huh.
Huh?
Huh?
Huh.
Huh?
We watched a movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
technically, yes.
It was not a slideshow.
You're right, I guess.
BMFcast.
Bill says you were missed, BJ.
Well, at least somebody did.
I'm glad Bill missed you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I don't think we
lukewarm
even
to be back.
I don't think we even acknowledged last week that he wasn't here. We just kind of ran right along.
Well, at a certain point, it's just like you have to get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
When
hang
it's
on
two
to
in
the
a row,
past.
you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't bring it up.
Wasn't that 3 in a row though?
No, it was 2.
That was
it
two.
just 2? Okay.
It's because we recorded that other one like on a Monday before the 4th.
Mhm.
It seemed like
Right. Seems like it.
so long ago.
So long ago.
It was
Recorded
quite a
on
long
on a
time ago.
Mindy.
Mindy.
Now the beach is back.
Oh, back,
He's big.
back in the habit again.
Oh, you're like sister.
Yeah. Boy, joy.
Sister Act 2.
Y'all are the worst at this.
Big and habit.
Big.
Back in the habit.
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 Hebby.
Back in the habit.
What?
You know them hibbits. Elijah Wood, the hibbit.
He wasn't in that one. He wasn't even in that one.
Yeah, but he's still a habit.
God damn it.
He was in that.
There was Seam and Fruity. I don't know how you can do the ASM for Frodo. Fruity.
Frodo.
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 Gandalf.
It's
It was Mary.
Frodo.
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 Why are we doing this?
Frodo Baggins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You hope it's from Bacon. Shire. The Shire.
I love her music.
Suppose it's the old Discord.
Ah.
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 Oh, it's interesting. It's youtube.com/
BMFcast?
user / BMFcast / live. now.
Yeah. That is the permanent
I like that.
hash or
Yeah.
web
Yeah.
word. Yeah.
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 Are you hot?
Got the vapors?
Are you
I got the
heated?
vapors.
I did declare. Yeah, you go outside in Florida, you die.
It's not a great time to be outside.
Walking out of the airport Sunday at 8 o'clock,
Hmm?
it was like somebody hit me in the chest with a baseball bat.
Yep.
It was bad.
Bad.
Yeah. I always got that coming back from Minnesota. Because it's like no humidity whatsoever
Right.
in the summer. Nice, cool evenings. And then you hop off the plane and it's like, here's some heat and some wet in a bad way.
Take it.
Yeah.
Well, shall we do this thing?
I would like to.
All right.
Are we recording?
We are recording.
Yay.
Yay. Speed.
Speed.
All right, and welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey, BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Episode 431.
I'm back, bitches.
We were going to get to that.
BJ's
Wait your
back.
turn.
Man, look at Mr. Aggressive over
Yeah.
there.
He's happy.
Well,
Eh.
just in case you need to know, I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ, and I'm back.
And I'm Chuck, and I've been here.
Yeah.
BJ's back, though.
Yay!
BJ's here.
Right.
Chuck never leaves.
No, I live here.
Yeah.
No, I live here.
Oh. Wait.
So, just in case you're not familiar with what we do each and every week here on the BMFcast, is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Then we come in here and talk about it for the first half, and then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. I get 1 to 5 Jacksons and Robot Jocks.
Robot jocks. Robot jocks fighting.
Pretty fucking good.
It is.
Yeah.
However, there are bad movies. And stay away. They get a negative sliding scale. 1 to 5 bags and giant bags of trash
Oh, no.
in which we wish to place them.
They're not great.
They go in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Not great.
We throw them out.
Not great, Bob.
Get out.
So, we're doing Freedom Month,
Yeah.
and we're celebrating America
Yes.
by watching a Gary Daniels movie.
Right.
A Gary Daniels movie.
Daniels.
Geary Daniels.
And the one that we came upon is called Capital Punishment.
That's America themed.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I
Yeah,
got
kinda
you.
is.
You get it?
Yeah.
From 1991.
You
It is
get
the
it?
opposite of freedom, though.
The year many were put to death
Right. Yes.
through capital punishment.
Right. Banner year. Or not.
Probably
Depending
in
on the
Texas.
side you're on.
We usually do a plot summary thing. There's a bunch of them everywhere. None of them are good. None of them are accurate.
Okay.
None of them are right.
Oh.
Gary Daniels kickboxes a lot of people.
Yeah. And it occasionally makes some sense. Not often.
I don't know about that.
Some. I said some. Like
Well-
some is more than zero. But
There are some transitions that from point A to point B are like, okay, I understand this. Like he was there and now he's there.
right.
I'm not lost.
Yeah. So we're gonna attempt to go through this, but shit, man.
Well,
Shit, man.
should I get some?
Yeah, we
Some
got some
background
we got
information
some
out of the
behind
way
the scenes possible BMFcast alums. Well, we know there are some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gary Daniels, of course, being the first one.
Uh-huh.
From City Hunter, Rage,
Yeah.
Fist of the North Star, Firepower, and Hunt to Kill.
Hunt to Kill.
Hunt to Kill. I keep forgetting he was in Hunt to Kill.
We didn't know who he was when we watched Hunt to Kill.
Yeah, that's right.
We just called him that Australian guy.
Yeah.
We were naive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's David Carradine
Oh.
from Q, the Winged Serpent,
Mm-hmm.
Lone Wolf McQuade,
Yep.
Think Big, Martial Law, Karate Cop,
Karate.
and also Grey Lady Down from
That's
BMFcast Extra.
That's a BMFcast extra title. Yeah.
Also Tadashi Yamashita of Gymkata and American Ninja.
Yeah.
2 movies that are much better than this movie. Spoilers.
Oh, I don't know.
We do, Chuck.
Yeah,
we know.
Chuck,
We know.
I wasn't here for Gymkata, so I can't say.
It's better.
a man used a pommel horse as a pummel horse. That's
I've
all you
seen-
need to know.
I've seen that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Mel Novak from Black Belt Jones, Truck Turner, and Samurai Cop 2.
Uh-huh.
And 2 for 3, Mel. And Ava Fabian from Ski School.
Ski School.
Ski School.
Ski School.
I have never seen Ski School.
That's right. You weren't here for Ski School.
I was not.
Huh.
And then there's
But
that,
I'm sure the next week I announced it grandly that I had returned.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course.
there is that one dude that's in the background that's been in a ton of BMFcast movies.
Yes.
I don't even want to try to mention it, but
The professor?
yeah, Gerald Akamura.
Yeah.
You know, he's just that. He's one of those dudes like Al Young. You know,
Yeah.
where it's just like, oh, him. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He shows up at the end of this, and we're like, "Hey!" And then it's like, "Wait, what?
Who are you?
Yeah,
Where
why
did
are
you
you
come from?
here?" But yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
Okay, so in trying to break down the plot,
Uh-huh.
basically there is a drug called Kick.
Project Kick.
Created
Well-
through Project Kick.
Project Kick is the project to
Is
make
the
the
name of the
drug.
monster?
Yeah, Kick is the name of the drug.
Man.
Yes, it's Dr. Kick to you.
Oh, you get that at the Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah. And it's like a steroid, but I guess it gets you high too or something. I mean, it was like a growth hormone thing.
It was for cattle
for cattle.
and chickens.
But they were like, hey, we should give this to humans. Oh, but wait, it has horrible birth defects. Like 9 out of 10 kids will be born basically like, flipper babies.
It makes you like super hype and you want to fight things, but also it gives you deformed babies.
Right.
9 out of 10 chance you're going to get a deformed baby.
So it's
Right.
like Monster Energy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So it's not if you take it, you're going to turn into a deformed baby.
No.
But if you procreate,
if you
then
take
your
it-
babies will probably be flipper babies.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Got
Yes. It's going to make you want to fuck a lot. Although it's not called Project Fuck.
it. Should be. It should be.
That was
I
the,
mean,
that was the
no, it
porn
shouldn't be.
parody was
Yeah.
because
Oh, yes.
back then they used to give them
That's
clever
true.
names
Yes,
instead
Project.
of this ain't
This
ain't capital punishment.
Well,
I don't think I'd read that one.
yeah, no.
I probably would not either.
Yeah.
But yes, babies born with no arms, no legs.
Yes.
And all of the jokes therein.
Enjoy your truly tasteless jokes books.
Yeah, but that's the general overall plot, and then Gary Daniels is wrapped up in it, and then we're going to try to make sense of how and why. But
Yeah.
there isn't. It starts with an illegal fighting tournament in this
Dinner
lounge.
theater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dinner theater fighting lounge, and then the DEA is waiting to raid it with David Carradine. David Carradine is one room in this movie and never leaves that room. It's like
Until the very end.
Yeah, I
Well,
was
yeah,
gonna
he drives,
say- Oh, right, yeah.
drives a vehicle at the end.
DEA headquarters, I guess.
Yeah.
We don't know this for most of the movie,
Yeah.
until someone else that we know what they do shows up there. But they go in, and after the fight's over, they raid it and basically knock out. They tase Gary Daniels,
Yes.
and then carry him away, and they're like, "Hey, we did this because we want you to go to a real tournament, have basically a staged fight, and pretend to kill a dude who's going to turn state's witness against the drug dealer dude."
Yeah, they sit him down. They show him a slideshow presentation
Right.
about Project Kick. And then they're like, do you know why you're here? And he's like, no. And they're like, well, your old sensei is the one who's selling Project Kick to everybody. And then he flashes back to where he had a watermelon on his crotch. And this dude,
Circumcises the watermelon.
he does, yes.
and then he chops it in half.
Right. And they have
And then he
some-
splits the banana. And then
and then they have some weird bonding. And then it comes back to him. And then suddenly,
Yeah.
there's dudes everywhere.
Right, yeah, still at the DEA headquarters, dudes bust in.
A dude walks in like, message for you, sir, and just Uzis one guy, whoever that guy was. And then it's just Gary Daniels in a hallway fighting dudes, and get used to that arena because that's pretty much wherever Gary Daniels is going to fight dudes. It's probably in a hallway.
which
But
I'd like
sure,
because Gary Daniels is pretty cool
Yeah.
usually.
Yes.
But this one, it's it's all in slow motion. Like it's the first time they're running through these moves with each other.
right.
Every single fight is slow.
It feels like they're fighting in a pool.
But I mean, I kind of like that the fights take a little bit. Not everybody's just yeah, and they're down. I mean, but it also makes them look weak because every chump who comes out and clearly can't fight very well, it still takes them 30 seconds to a minute or more to dispatch him.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
dude.
But there's a lot of I swung and missed, and I held my arm out exactly where the punch should have landed.
Right.
That sort of shit. And
Yeah.
it just looks terrible.
It does.
I think also the fights in this movie are, I mean, they're staged, but I want to say they're more realistic fights than most movie fights because it's a lot of just kind of not flipping, but just kind of grabbing a wrist and knocking someone down, and then they get up, and then they kind of slap at each other
Yeah,
a
there
little
are
bit.
a lot of arm submission type.
Yeah, I
moves.
mean, it's not. It is choreographed, but it's not super choreographed. It's a lot of just okay, you missed, and then you kind of fucked up, and now we're gonna slap our legs together a little bit, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
but
we both fell
there's
down.
a lot
and,
of mark hitting though.
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
But this scene ends by him opening a door and someone basically blow darts him.
yes, in the chest.
Yeah, and then so he's knocked out, and then wakes up at home.
He does.
It's a very jarring transition because he's just laying in a bed and you're like, okay, what the fuck just happened? And then he sits up, goes to a chest of drawers,
But he
it-
hears noise in the
yeah,
house.
he hears noise in the house and immediately knows where to go for a gun. And
Yeah.
it's like, wait, they took him home?
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Who busts into a DEA agent or office and guns down a dude, blow dart tranquilizes another dude, and then takes him home and just leaves him. So like he wakes up, gets the gun, goes downstairs, and then there's a lady there, and they draw guns on each other, and then she eventually identifies herself as a DEA agent, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm here. I don't know what happened, but your wife's in the hospital." That's
Right.
basically what she imparts in the scene, and he's like, "Oh, I got to go."
Right, because this is our first, and it's our first and his first realization that he's married.
Right. So he goes to the hospital, and there's a very awkward doctor who's like, "Well, there was some bleeding,"
There was
and then
bleeding.
pause, but everything will be okay.
Literally could have described any possible wound that she might have had, but, well, there was some bleeding. And she's in there.
So he goes to see his wife, and it's basically imparted that she's pregnant, and that's why she was in the hospital,
Yes.
I guess.
Sure. I guess that's where the bleeding was.
But then
I guess that's
like-
what the issue was.
Sure.
Is this when they have, like, no, it's later. They have
Yeah.
a flashback of, like, I guess them making the baby.
That's
But it's just like, it's randomly inserted in the middle of another scene, just like, hey, now it's sexy time with the wife.
oh no, it comes at a very logical time.
Okay.
Is
But then it's like, we're done with that for a while.
there fighting in the hospital? Does he get accosted in the hallway of the hospital?
Probably, because it seems like that happens everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Like they like
Yes.
constantly know where he is, so I'm sure there's a fight in the hospital.
Because all I want to say is
Or,
that
or no, is this when he goes outside and it's just like, I'm going to be homeless now?
no, what happens is that's much later
Okay,
because he
okay.
goes back home at some point,
Right.
and then goons jump him, and then the DEA lady is there again, and he chases all the dudes out of the house and chases off after them. She's left in the kitchen with one dude, and she, like, during their struggle, has turned on the gas of the stove, and then she knocks that dude. She hits this dude with 3 different beer bottles, and then someone has dropped a lighter, and then she's leaving the house, and she's like, "Well, see ya," and tosses a lit lighter into this house, which is Gary Daniels' house.
Yep.
And the house fucking explodes.
Yeah.
Full screen house explosion.
She murders one dude by blowing up Gary Daniels' house.
And it's never addressed.
No.
He never says, "Hey, that was my
Yeah.
fucking house."
But
No, why would he?
But
Yeah.
it's like, again, like he knows that this has happened because he was running after the people that escaped on foot, and then suddenly he's on a motorcycle chasing
Yeah,
this guy in the
because
car.
they're in a car.
Yeah.
Taking off.
And then suddenly he has a motorcycle out of nowhere and is riding out down the road after him, and then they get away somehow, and then he just kind of comes to a
they
stop.
don't get away.
No, they don't
Oh,
get
no.
away.
I'm
the
sorry.
guy gets a weird look and then swerves the car off the road, and then
Sorry.
it explodes.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, how could I forget that? He
Dude
just,
is just like, "We got this. Oh, fuck."
yeah,
And then they go off the road, and some stock footage explodes.
right.
Yeah.
So he just stops the motorcycle in this alley, like she's in shittiest part of town, and just stops in this alley, gets off the motorcycle, and there is like an overturned sofa, like sideways, so the back, the cushions are gone, but the back is still there.
He pulls right up to it.
Yeah, he just pulls up to it and he's like, "This is where I live now."
Yeah.
And just has a little nap on the sofa.
Doesn't scope it out. Doesn't act like, "Well, I got to figure out something to do now." He's just like, "I know of a couch I can crash on.
Yeah.
It's right here."
Yeah.
I know a couch that has crashed into
Yeah,
the
and-
alley that I will also crash on.
Yeah.
And that is the logical point for him to have a wet dream about his wife.
Yes, that's
That's
right.
when he
Okay.
just immediately takes a nap, and it's, "Oh yeah, remember when I had sex with my wife?"
But again, everyone in this movie has Chuck Norris
My
sense
wife.
because it's just like
Yeah.
he knows that his house is destroyed and I must live here now.
Right.
And
Oh,
then
okay, wait.
Okay.
Before all that, he had the fight. He had the kickboxing match.
Right. Sorry.
Where he fights this dude, and like he's supposed to fight this dude 5 rounds, and then that dude's gonna take a dive, and they're gonna pretend that dude's dead, and then something or other.
Yeah, they're going to change his identity, and that's how they're going to get him in witness protection. or whatever.
Sure. So it goes 3 rounds, and this dude's kicking Gary Daniels' ass, and Gary Daniels is like, "Nah." And they've also drugged that dude. Like his manager has drugged him. So he's like bent over, like, "Ugh," and then Gary Daniels basically murders him. And immediately the ref comes over, is like, "Give me your gloves," and cuts them open with a knife. And there's like just a giant piece of iron or something inside.
It looks like the cap from a steel toe boot.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
And then the LAPD is in the ring immediately arresting Gary Daniels. And he gets like 2 feet outside and kickboxes them to death.
Yeah, he beats up a bunch of cops while handcuffed behind his back.
Right.
Yeah, I think the transition was he went to the hospital. There was no fight.
Okay.
And then it's just suddenly like he's in the ring.
Right, yeah.
Because when he escapes, he kicks the dudes while handcuffed. The DEA agent
lady's
just shows back
outside,
up
yeah,
with a
and he
car
gets
and
in
is
the
like,
car.
"Get in." And then
They go back to his
his house, and
Yeah.
that's where she splinters it while he's gone.
Right.
But yes, he wakes up. He's woken up in the morning by the DEA agent from the slideshow, I believe, is there, and he's like, he just immediately goes into like, "Oh, you fucked me over. I'm going to kick your ass." And you know, just there's plenty of inept filmmaking in this, but like this is one of those scenes where it's just like, yeah, okay, none of this makes any sense because he gets this dude in like an armbar and he's like, "Talk," and he's got 2 other agents, I guess, with him, but.
Yeah.
Like, they had guns on him, and, Gary Daniels doesn't have a gun. He just has this DEA guy in an arm bar, and then, like, the agent's like, put your guns down, just like, we're going to talk. And then one dude puts his gun down and just puts his hands up. Like,
Yes.
no reason.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. I don't know what he's surrendering for.
yeah. But then they just, like, keep cutting back to them. It's like they clearly filmed those dudes reacting to something else that didn't get used. And they're just like, well, B-roll that has no bearing on this scene whatsoever.
I can see that.
But eventually he's just like, okay, I'll trust you. And they go back to the car and he's like, oh, yeah, who's Agent so-and-so? And he's like, oh, yeah, they're with us. And then I guess that was a trigger of like, oh, yeah, that means you're terrible. I'm going to kick your ass now. I have no idea whose anybody's name is in this. Like, I mean, I don't, they say Agent somebody, like we're supposed to go, oh, them. That's David Carradine, maybe? I don't know who the fuck they're talking about.
I don't think you could hear their names because everything was so poorly recorded.
That too, yeah. But yeah, he just kicks their ass and leaves.
Yes.
I have no idea where the fuck he goes after this. This is where I start. Like, that scene was so bad, this is where I really started tuning this movie out.
Then it just becomes a go-to place, find thing. We never know what thing is. Someone else figures out what thing is. We're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then they go to the next thing.
Yeah.
Because like
I was hoping somebody had it because like literally at this point I was like, I'm checking out.
He goes to some house, finds a slide, takes the slide to a dude who's eating while delivering his dialogue and is enhancing the slide.
That's right. He went back to the DEA place where he had the slideshow, found a slide, had a fight there.
Yeah.
But then he had the slide, took it to computer analyst guy, and they did enhance.
Yep.
And he finds out it looks like it's a picture of a baby, but then they zoom in and it's like made in China. No, it's a doll. And then like for some reason, no reason whatsoever, the DEA lady's like, what if it's like a doll that they give away? No, he does. He's just like, what if it's a doll like they give away at a carnival? Maybe it's not even in a store. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's probably it. Let's go to a carnival.
Yeah, but before that, they go to like a bar.
Carnival.
I thought they went to the bar later. But
No, they go to the bar before the carnival.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
They're just hanging out in a bar, day drinking.
Literally just
Him
drinking.
and the cop.
And like we're like, dude, isn't your wife in the hospital?
Maybe.
Like, aren't
We don't
people
know.
trying to murder you? You're just having a day drink with this cop in this abandoned bar. And even this bar scene came after this, like, he's slinking through a warehouse fighting dudes because, like, he fights, like, 10 dudes in this warehouse. And then at one point, like, he's got he's acquiring tools along the way. And, like, he's got a flashlight, and then he's dual wielding flashlights, and he's actually, he, like, blinds a bear when he's fighting one dude. And it's like wielding them like nunchucks, like he's doing the thing, and the guy's like, "Oh!" And it's like they're fucking flashlights, dude. They're not going to do anything
Except hurt because
Yeah.
they're fucking
Yeah.
mag lights. I mean,
and
And I'll admit, I've always wanted somebody to use a mag light as a weapon in
Yep.
a movie because that's like basically the only thing I had next to my bed for years in the bedroom because I was just like, man, if I ever have to defend myself, I got a mag light. It was like the heaviest thing in my house
yeah,
that could still be wielded.
they're heavy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're made from, like, a metal from a collapsed dying star.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
exactly
it is.
it.
Yeah. But like after he beats that one
Forged by a
dude
dwarf.
Yeah, dwarf star.
to death with the flashlights, the next dude pops into the room and he just chucks those flashlights at that dude's face. So,
But the best part, all right, so there's one point in this where he does, like, do some sneaking around. Like, he goes into this room.
he's looking for files.
He goes through a file cabinet, but he does this whole thing. Like, he moves this barrel to block the door, and then all of a sudden it's just like, it kicks in, like, the most action-packed music in the entire movie.
The only action-packed music in the entire
for
movie,
like
I
him
think.
slinking
Sneaking.
around and looking through a file cabinet, and then the guy is like, "Oh, I'm gonna go in this room," and then doesn't do like the "Hey, why is this door blocked?" Just immediately like, "Door's blocked. Well, let me push as hard as I can and get this barrel out of the way."
Making all sorts of goddamn noise.
Yeah.
But it gives Gary Daniels time to take off his sock, find some loose change.
No, he takes a screwdriver and opens up a payphone that's right there in this
Oh,
warehouse.
Oh,
that's
that's
why
where
he
he got
did
the
that.
change.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what.
Yeah. So he fills his sock with quarters, and then
No quarters.
dude shows up and he starts beating this guy to death with his sock full of quarters. gets the drop on the guy. Like, the guy is down, and then Gary Daniels goes into murder mode and just starts Full Metal Jacketing this guy with his sock full of quarters, and is just beating him about the face and head, while he's down. And then
I believe we call that the code dead.
and then just throws the chain, or empties. He turns the sock upside down and empties the coins onto him, and says, "Keep the change." In his Australian.
I was going to say
accent.
not anywhere nearly as cool as that. But.
Keep the chain.
So,
Well, yeah, because when he went to the back to the bar where he had his original fight.
yeah, that's what I was saying. The bar is after this scene because
Well, there's two bars.
there's two bars.
There's the day drinking bar, and
Right.
then there's the underground fighting ring bar that he goes to where he lights that one dude on fire.
oh,
who
right.
comes
He goes
at
back
him
to
with
the
a
Fight
flare.
Club from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he basically lit a man on fire, watched him scream and burn and flail around to death, and didn't give a one-liner.
Yeah.
No.
But then gave the keep the change later.
Yes.
To a guy that he didn't have nearly as cool a death, and it wasn't even a death.
Right. But what it did was it established that dude, because when he does go day drinking, that dude watches Gary Daniels fight one guy. He's sitting at the bar with sunglasses on. And then after Gary Daniels finishes with that guy, he gets up, takes off his sunglasses, flings some quarters at him, and is just like,
Here's your change.
Yes.
Use it to call 911.
right. Yeah.
I,
So that
wait, we can't just like gloss over the lighting the dude on fire because
No. I wasn't. I was just trying to get to that
Yeah,
dude. That dude's return.
there are two dudes in the scene. He questions one, like there's like American dude and then the Chinese dude who like runs this underground ring.
Right.
And so like he fights the American dude and like gets some information out of him and then just like knocks him out and we don't see him again for the rest of the scene. Then like Chinese dude who's like very freaked out about like I'm going to get murdered if like he comes back or like you don't understand like he's going to murder me. He's very freaked out. He runs off like while he's fighting with the American guy and comes back with a road flare.
Yep.
That's his weapon of choice.
Yep.
And he fights them with a road flare and then he gets hoisted by his own petards and lit on fire.
Yeah. Because Gary Daniels just basically, I got your arm, now it's behind your back, and oh shit, your members only jacket went up like a fucking paper house.
Yeah.
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 But that just saying that's how the dude gets lit on fire is by wielding a road flare as a weapon.
Right.
That
also,
doesn't seem like
and-
the best choice.
No.
At all.
And also I mean if you're going to do something ridiculous like that, work in a one-liner, like
Yeah.
flare for the dramatic or something.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you either have no one-liners or you have all one-liners.
Right.
You can't just drop one and
mean-
not do any more. Because there's so many scenes of just Gary Daniels standing over a fallen foe and then just sneering and walking out of the frame.
Arnold movies knew how to do it because it was like if someone's going to fight with something weird, it is going to get a one. It's
That's
you
why you're
fight
fighting
something-
with
yeah,
it.
like
Yeah.
you don't bring out a road flare and not have a one-liner.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason.
Yeah. Also, like, I don't know which place this was, but I think it's the warehouse when he's leaving. The lady cop has shown up there too because they end up blowing that place up too, and it starts this running thing of.
Yeah.
Is she always going to blow up the thing we're in? Because I was like, okay, this day bar is going to explode for some reason. That because she's fighting a dude with the pool rack.
Yeah.
Pool cue.
She kills that man.
No,
No,
not,
she's fighting with the triangle.
triangle.
The rack.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Well, she was fighting him with the pool cue before,
Right.
And then she transitioned to the triangle.
she gives
yeah,
him
to
the pool
rack.
cue because he wrecks the quarters dude by propping his chin up on the pool cue and then slams his head through it in like the movie's most shocking moment of violence. Where,
Right.
Like through the neck.
Yeah.
That was
not head.
Yeah.
That's even better.
quite
Yeah.
surprising. He was using whole pool cue.
Yes.
She was using just half
Okay.
at one point before she starts going with the rack attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, and again, you give someone a weird ass weapon like that, and especially a lady, and she doesn't go like, "Stop checking out my rack," or,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yes.
like something like.
Yeah, it's like the script was like, okay, you guys just fill in the blanks. I got to go take a lunch break, and they were just like, nah, film it.
Yeah.
It was like, no, wait, you forgot. Fill in the blank at the end of every scene.
Right, but
They were like, oh, we just thought that was,
I thought we were just
You
fighting
just-
with the pool rack. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this just keeps
But
happening.
they do finally get to the funhouse because they go see the enhanced guy. They have that jump to conclusions, Matt. The idea of like maybe it's a funhouse doll, like a prize.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
So he goes to a carnival, takes one step into the funhouse. Some rando walks out with a baby, a doll, and he's like, "Can I see that?" And the guy's like, "Nah, kickbox."
And then they fight in the funhouse for a while.
Yep. And then like random like dudes who are there working like to jump up and scare people are like, nah, okay, Gary Daniels is here, time to fight him too. So it's just fighting in the funhouse. And the problem is that Gary Daniels keeps walking into darker and darker areas of this place because everything in this movie takes place at night. The day scenes all take place inside some other building.
Yes.
That barely has
That
like
is never-
glazed.
The lights are never turned on
Right,
in any of these buildings.
Yeah, and the windows are just like glazed, and they're never allowing any light to come inside. Because he ends up like in a garage at one point finding a dude, and
yeah.
Yeah. But again, he interrogates somebody who's just like, I believe the guy goes, they're at the World Ice Factory.
Yes.
well, at first he says they're somewhere at the docks, and then Gary Daniels is like, "Where at the docks?" And he's like, "Oh, the World Ice Factory."
And
And
he's
we're like, the World Ice Factory?
Yeah, and I was like, that can't be what he said. And then he's like, you got to hit me because, I got to look like I
Yeah.
didn't just give up the information without getting hit. So he kicks him or something. But,
Yeah, he just...
But then he just goes to a fucking ice factory. He's like, yeah, they said World Ice Factory. We don't see Gary Daniels right away because first it's like top henchman dude like showing the buyers around like, look, this is how we disguise the drug as ice. So the easiest camouflage is just in plain sight. Am I right? And then Gary Daniels just comes in and just
He
fucks some more
Starts
shit up.
pushing over a lot of ice dominoes.
Yeah, he's pushing over these ice dominoes, and one guy's just looking at him like, "What are you even doing, man?"
Yeah.
And there's like one like jagged piece of ice. And
Well,
he's-
yeah, because
They keep focusing on
they
it.
got two henchmen. Like one's like this Chuck Liddell looking dude, and then like they have like MMA guys long before MMA guys were a thing.
Yep.
And then he's just knocking over chunks of ice. This guy's breaking him with a sledgehammer, and there's one jagged piece that's just like, well, we know what's going to happen here, and that's exactly what happens. We don't really see it. They don't show it. Like we kind of got the pull cue through the neck, but that's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
You just put a pull cue behind somebody and just make it look like it went through their neck.
Right.
But this guy is just like cut to it, and he's impaled on some ice. And then the worst, like, oh, we didn't have any budget to show this thing because the ponytailed henchman dude who was like giving the tour of the ice factory, he sets up like there's this perfect like ice domino thing set up where there's just these big slabs of ice, and he pushes them over, and they domino effect over, and apparently crash into and crush this guy, but they don't show it. They just cut to like guys laying in a pile of ice with fake blood on them.
Yeah, but also these ice dominoes, they're only like waist high. They're
Yeah.
not big enough to do any kind of damage
it's not like
whatsoever.
pushing an ice refrigerator on this man.
Yeah,
Right.
because like they show Gary Daniels kick these things over, and you're like, yeah, so, and then they cut to that dude, and he's just like bloody underneath some ice. You're like, no.
Yeah, and he's like, help me out, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you where your wife is. And he goes, I don't make bad deals. And then he smashes ice onto the dude's head, and then
Yeah.
they splatter some poop on a wall.
It's ice blood. It's ice and it's watered down blood that they've sprayed on the wall because it would be wet.
Oh, the ice platelets.
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
This just all leads to a meeting in some abandoned office building that has like this big like, oh, the money guy's here. Put all your shit in this safe. Oh, this is a big
Yeah.
deal. Blah blah blah.
Well, is this also when? Yeah, this. When do they catch him and tie him onto the forklift? Because that has to have happened before this,
I
right?
think they did that
Yeah.
in the warehouse.
Yeah, there's a point where they catch him, they put him on the forklift, and they.
Because like one guy taunts him with a glass of water. Like, look,
Yeah.
I'm drinking water. I just threw water in your face. Ah, it's like,
Yeah, and then
so?
the sensei dude finally shows his face, and he's just like, "Why?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?"
Yeah.
And he's just like,
the whole thing. Oh yeah, so like
because
the whole
I
thing
just want
is.
to point out, sensei dude like is using his own voice,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
the dude barely speaks English, and it all right. So this whole movie is very, very, very poorly recorded anyway.
Yeah.
Plus, this dude just barely speaks English, so like half the time he's saying something that's supposed to sound menacing, but it's like, the fuck did he just say?
Yeah. What?
Like-
What? Yeah. Which is weird because like the wife character is completely 100% dubbed. So why did they like? Oh God, she can't speak. We have to dub her. She's been in like 20 movies. She can speak, obviously. But like this guy, they were like, no, his natural voice is the way to go.
Yeah. But he just kind of is like, I did it all for the money, and also we were injecting you with kick the whole time you were my student or
Yeah.
something because you're
Yeah.
you're my guinea pig.
Yeah, he explains that he was the test that so that they
Sure.
were going to be able to figure it out so it didn't give babies birth defects.
That's all they want to do. They want to be able to sell the drug, but make sure it doesn't give babies birth defects. So they've got a inkling of a conscience about what they're doing to the world, but it's like, no, we still want people to get high and fucked up and kick every
And
motherfucker.
addicted to our garbage.
Right.
Yeah, but we don't want to kick the babies.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Fix the babies.
Don't kick the baby.
Don't kick
Right.
the baby. So. Yeah.
And he's basically
But,
like,
yeah,
Gary Daniels, why did you stop?
Yeah.
Why did you leave? Why did you betray me? And he's like, because you were injecting me with drugs?
Yeah.
Like, who betrayed who here?
Yeah.
But anyway, he's just like, fine, we'll get what we want out of you. I'm going to leave now. And they've, got the electric wire, going to shock him until
Lady cop.
DEA lady busts in and shoots the air.
They shock him once.
Yeah, they shock him once.
Yeah. And then
Which made me wonder why she didn't stop them before they shocked him.
Yeah. Okay, so the way that place blows up is that as dudes are running out of there, one literally like uses a gas can as a stepping stool of some kind and knocks it over, which just immediately floods this warehouse with gasoline, which comes in contact with fire from it hits
Probably
the
the
wire.
electrical, yeah.
Yeah. And then a warehouse of stock footage blows up. So that's now two
And they do the like dive out of the way while they throw a couple
they throw
foam
some
bricks.
Yeah. They just throw some plaster on them.
Yeah, but they're just like, wow, good thing we escaped that. All right, on to
Yeah.
the next scene.
Right.
But
I think that's when they go have a drink and are immediately accosted.
I don't know.
It
Because
could
like
be.
in the bar, like the fight in the bar begins because she's like, I need to tell you something, and then it's just like first person her throwing a drink at his face, but it turns out it's because there was a ninja standing behind him.
Sure. I don't know. That's just it. It's like it's a series of fights that are very poorly stitched together, and we're
Yes.
obviously struggling
Yes.
with the order.
But anyway, we're in an office building at the
Yeah,
end. Here.
finally, and it's like they're trying to do cool bad guy thing where it's like, search him, and then there's a safe, and it's like I put in half the code, and you'll put in the other half, and until this business deal is done, blah 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 blah. We're important, and this is very important, and it's still just David Carradine occasionally on the radio, like he's obviously in on this. We are only told that he's a DEA agent by the fact that like Lady DEA agent shows up,
Yeah.
and is like, he's just obviously like blowing her off, like you're not getting any backup, find it yourself. Obviously I'm a bad guy.
Which is a big red alert thing. Like if your partner's like, okay, let's make this bust, and then the dude's like, nah, do it yourself, and it's just like, wait, what? That's
Yeah,
not how
but
we operate.
It turns out that's his role, as he's corrupt DEA guy who's actually in on this whole deal. And
I honestly don't know what he's trying to get away with at the end. If he's
I
trying
don't
to get
either.
away with a truck full of the drug or a truck full of money.
it's the drug.
Is it?
Yeah,
All right.
because they established something about like they can make this for about $1 a gallon.
Yeah.
And then the final street price is like
$300 an ounce.
$300 an ounce or something like that. So like they've got a full on like a tanker truck full of this
Okay.
shit.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, they're in this office building. And Gary Daniels shows up, and they catch him pretty immediate.
yeah, they get
They've got him.
Well, they basically like grab him and then are like holding him there. And
Well, because
then,
the bad guy has said if he shows up and y'all get him, you get like a bonus or something.
Right.
Because then like 3 very unenthusiastic henchmen go, yeah,
woo.
yay.
Also, like one extremely out of shape dude. Like,
Yeah, Uncle Jeff.
Wearing his
Yeah.
fucking pajamas to the.
I was calling him Danny Fejo. It's fucking ugly. Yeah. So, but anyway, like they do end up catching him and they're holding him, and then they're like, he's like, you can have me if you give me my wife, and then like they're like, oh, you want to see your wife? Well, first, and then they open the door, and the fighter dude that from the ring earlier shows up and is like, bet you weren't expecting to see me, and they're
For
like,
15 seconds, I had no idea who the fuck that was. I was like,
I did, but I was
I
like,
actually recognized
I did
him.
too. I was like, why the fuck is he here? What is the deal? And then
there had been so many fights since then that I
Yeah.
completely forgotten that guy.
but then
There is that.
guy comes out and just taunts him sort of like nonchalantly.
Yeah.
Nonchalantly, I don't know. but and then he just snaps his finger and out comes Gary Daniels' wife.
Yep.
And then just immediately comes over and like kisses that dude and is like, yeah, I fooled you all along or something. Like I've been injecting you with kick this whole time too.
And then
Yeah,
I don't really
she
understand
mentioned
any of
she's
this.
been pregnant 5 times.
she says that like a taunt. And
Yeah.
it's like, what?
He was just
Is
off
this-
in so many bar fights he didn't even notice when she was pregnant. I
Has
guess
this become Liberty and Bash? Like, what's happening in this finale? Like, what is this weird taunting that's going on?
I have no idea, but like
But basically, yeah, she was in on it the whole time. She's like, I've been injecting you with kick, too. Yeah, you suck, and I'm going to stick my tongue down this guy's throat. Blech.
And then we're like, all right, well, let's just finally murder him.
Yeah.
And then Lady Cop, we didn't even talk about her. They went to see her, like, she called him Uncle Chan or something like that, but it was like...
She went to go see her herbalist.
Yeah. Her, like,
Herbalife.
herbal dude.
Herbalist.
Ancient Chinese secret guy.
Yeah.
You know, like... And that starts like a mini montage where Gary Daniels is like meditating with this dude who's like doing the Bruce Lee, like, you've got to make your body like water, and these drugs are like drops of other water in your water, and then you've got to make your water still, and then you'll be fine.
Yep.
And he breathes for like five seconds, and then it's like, I guess
Cured.
he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
But Lady Cop's showing up with herbalist uncle and the professor dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
For no reason.
Like,
Don't
well,
know
then,
who
like,
he
We
is.
well,
didn't even know that they were
Yeah.
part of it. Like,
but like the way they show it is like, oh, the professor dude's like part of his, like, the, you know, the calling the henchman. Like, no, he's one of the good guys.
Yeah, he looks like he's standing in a crowd with the bad guys, and this is like, oh no, he's there to help them, but
I mean,
why?
maybe the herbalist uncle was behind him, and I just didn't notice. It was like, oh, hey, it's him.
Yeah.
But yeah, they show up and like kind of like go off and have their own little fights. Like the herbalist uncle dude fights a few dudes. The professor guy like does the curly shuffle style of fighting
A lot,
because
yeah.
you know he's a bald dude and he's just like for some reason like doing the whoop 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 thing on his bald head, and then murders the businessman guy. I think is what his job was. Oh no! The sensei dude.
He murders the old white guy.
Yeah, the
guy
other
from
corrupt
the,
DEA or something.
Yeah, the guy
I
who
don't
was
know.
in the fight with the guy who set himself on
yeah,
fire.
David Byrne.
Sure,
Yeah. Because
David Byrne.
because the main bad guy, like the business guy who was there to make the deal, is just like, wait, you said the birth defect was taken care of. It's not. No deal. And then he busts out some moves. Like, this is the whitest guy in the movie, and he busts out some karate moves. And you're like, oh, check him out. But then, like,
But he's fighting the karate
right,
master dude.
main bad dude kicks his ass immediately.
Breaks his neck because at this point we're just breaking necks left and right.
Yeah. So then it's just Gary Daniels fighting the guy he fought in the ring, and that fight
Yeah, and
ends
it's just like
in
a whole thing.
shitty way.
Oh, it's just like he's like, it's time for the rematch, and then like he gets his ass kicked. He's like, round two.
Right.
He's like talking all this tough shit, but then just
He's
immediately gets his ass
getting
kicked.
his ass beat the whole time.
But like, I guess he murders him. He just kind of pushes him against the wall, and you hear like the, and it's like,
he puts his foot up to his neck, and
okay.
because the dude says something like, "Yeah, fucking your wife was real sweet," and
But-
just like,
But then the darkest shit in the movie happens because
absolutely.
the DEA agent lady is like running through, and like the wife is running right towards her, and they stop like, oh, we're gonna fight now because we're both ladies, and I can kick your ass and it won't seem weird. And then like, Gary Daniels,
well,
is
she's like, give me a reason why I shouldn't take you out. And
She's-
she goes, because I'm pregnant?
and she's like, bullshit. And then Gary Daniels comes up and goes, wait. He's like, and then he like goes, here, use this,
Use
and hands her
this.
the knife that he was just fighting the other dude with,
Yep.
and then walks off.
Yep. And you see Lady Cop basically come at that lady with the knife, like, time to end you.
Like first person style
Yeah.
from the point of view of fake wife.
Yeah.
And we never see them again.
No. Well, we see the Lady Cop again,
Yeah.
but not.
Yeah.
Also,
fake wife's dead by.
late in the scene, Lady Cop was holding a pistol in one hand and a hand grenade in the other hand. And we're like, you better blow up this fucking office. Like, continue. You've established this trend that this lady just blows up every building she's in. Keep doing this. And they don't. Because they didn't blow up the bar and they don't blow up this building. But what it does is that they get outside and they drive for a while.
Well, no. First, he fights the master dude on the roof.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He fights them. He fights his old sensei. He does this weird thing where he's got him a corner. He pinned him in the corner of his roof. Now it's one of the roofs that actually has like a lip around it a little bit. So it's about chest high.
It's higher than that.
It's higher than
like you would have to jump up to see over it.
And so like we were kind of like, oh, well, how's somebody gonna get kicked off of this? Because that's obviously what's going to happen. But there's this weird point where the sensei dude is just like, walk away, and then like he'll kick him further into the corner. He's like, just walk away, and he's like, even if you want to walk away, you're just continually kicking him. But eventually he does like judo style, like reverse his kick and throws this dude over the window. And you called it. You were like, this movie's so cheap, they're not even gonna have a dummy to throw off, and they don't.
Nope. They have a dude basically.
Fly off of something.
Well, I think they have a dude jump on a trampoline and then fall down, and
Sure.
they just shot it against a nothing background. So it's like, okay, there's a dude falling. That's that.
Yeah, but yeah, he's now murdered his old sensei. Like
Right.
the actual chief big bad of this movie for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
The other thing about this movie that is like it's so cheap that it never pays off is there are so many times when dude like grabs somebody else's arm and holds it out straight, and it's like you are just waiting for the compound fracture break constantly through this movie, and I was like, okay, did they just save it all up? As like, are we finally getting one at the end? No, still not.
And this is 91, so this is like
Steven Seagal era.
This is 3 years after the onset of Steven Seagal, which is like, okay, that's what you're striving for.
Right.
Like, you're trying to outdo that. And they just decided, nah, we're not going to do that at all.
Can't afford that.
Yeah.
They do really like that one punch sound effect, the real guttural, like, you know, like one that you hear in like shitty video games and everything else 1,000 times.
But
like, man, they love that in this movie.
Aside from that, though, most of the fights are just grunting. Like, they are not foleyed well at all.
The funniest is when the two guys tried to go to fight with mag lights. Like, before he gets the dual-wielding mag lights, there's this one time when they full-on, like, saber clash with their mag lights, and it just goes, ding, click, click, click. Yeah, it's like, click, click, click. It's like, really, guys? Like, that was the Foley sound you went with? That's a winner. Let's go. Anyway, Sensei's dead. He fell off, or was thrown off the building.
Yes. Now David Carradine's driving a truck.
Now David Carradine is like taking the shipment truck and is driving it along. There was a whole thing with a helicopter where the sensei was supposed to get picked up by a helicopter, and David Carradine's like, no, leave him. So that helicopter bugs off and allows this fight to happen. Now the helicopter is following him down the highway, and he's just like, get out of here. You're giving away my position. And
get away
like,
from me.
They're like, what about our share, sir? And he's like, you'll get it later. You're giving away my position. Now go.
Radio silence, dipweed.
And the finale of this movie is Lady Cop again was dual-wielding grenades for some reason in all this. Never used them in the warehouse, but now is giving them to Gary Daniels after they showed the truck like driving down the freeway in L.A., like busy freeway, but suddenly it is then alone on a bridge in the middle of nowhere.
Cambodia.
Yeah. And she's like, here it comes. And Gary Daniels just walks out with the 2 hand grenades, throws them out in front of the truck, and then cut to stock footage of like B-roll from the bridge over the River Kwai because this random fucking bridge just goes blam and just blows into splitters from 2 hand grenades.
Yeah.
And then he's just like...
the Project Kicked is volatile.
Sure. But blows this bridge, completely demolishes this bridge. And then she's like, well, at least we got a revenge. And he's just like, there's no good here or something. I don't know. It's the lamest final line of the movie.
It's pretty bad. When he does murder his sensei off the roof, he does say, well, consider that your capital punishment or whatever. And it's just like, that's all. Okay.
No.
I mean, I understand that was probably the name on the script and you guys wanted to work it in somewhere, but you needed to maybe workshop that line for longer than an hour.
I mean, the sensei dude in his bad accent did keep saying... Eventually it came out, he was just like, I don't give a fuck about the 90% infant mortality rate.
Yeah.
I'm in it for the capitalism.
Yeah.
So he does keep poorly saying capitalism.
Yes.
Which I think was supposed to be turned around into like, there's your capital punishment. Like,
but
but it's a stretch, and it's not like
bad.
it's not like it's the last thing he said. Like, I did it all for the capital, and then over the roof, and he's like, there's your capital punishment.
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
Something, but yeah, he nukes this bridge from orbit. David Carradine's dead. They kind of, sort of kiss, or like he's back in the hospital at the end. Like he's got a bandage on it, and then like she's there with him, and they're kissing, and it's like, oh, I guess you're together now.
Well, she's like, I know what you need. Blah.
I think they were using like Chronicles of Riddick rules. Like she murdered his fake wife, so now she's his wife or something.
Total Recall.
Yeah.
Any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's over.
Yes. It is. Also, the opening and closing credits appear to be filmed off of a television screen.
Yeah.
For what reason, I don't know. It's not like this movie has future tech of some weird kind or anything. They were just like, this effect is great. How do we get it out of the computer?
They wanted that lad group look.
Yeah. Yes.
So they got the bad group.
Yeah.
Aw.
Man. I have not... Like, usually I'm like, man, that movie kept going. That movie never slowed down.
Uh-huh.
It is a very bad thing in this movie. It's been a while since I've seen a movie this incoherently edited.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, when they started talking about baby dolls, I'm like, what in the fuck?
It just... it feels like they just ran out of time to film some stuff.
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, here's what we got. Let's just edit it together and see what happens.
Well, the slide with the baby doll thing was so jarring. It was like, are they looking at some weird X-ray of his baby?
Yeah,
Like, I mean, that's what. Like,
That's what I thought it was like a sonogram.
exactly. I was
or
like,
something.
this is the weirdest sonogram, or like the most clear sonogram I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
life.
It's like, yep, that's a baby.
It's one of those new 4D sonograms in 1991.
But like when he goes to the funhouse, he rips open the baby that he gets from the dude that he kickboxes. There's obviously a packet of drugs in it. And then later, when he leaves the funhouse, he goes to a payphone and calls DEA lady and says the drugs were a fake.
It was a setup. The drugs were fake.
How the fuck do you know that? Did you just dump
he's
the
hooked
fake
on Kick.
Project Kick?
Yeah.
Also,
Because you're
I
on
want to
it.
understand, like, how did he think, like, this juice box size thing of drug was going to be, like, the big stash? Like, I mean, seriously, it's like a Capri Sun of Kick.
Yeah. Stab
Man,
your
I'd get
straw on
hooked on
that.
Kick if it was in Capri
Snort
Sun
that shit.
pouches.
I don't know.
Yeah, but this is, man,
It's bad.
it's so frustrating because it's one of those where we kept waiting for something awesome to happen, and then the pool cue thing happens for like a split second. We're like, oh my god, yes.
Well, when she splintered Gary Daniels' house, we were like, holy shit, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah.
And then, like, it just dawned on us, like, what the fuck? Like, not like in a good way. Like, you just murdered his house to kill one guy that was basically already dead. Like, you hit him with a beer bottle and stab him. The fuck did you blow his house up
Yeah,
for?
it's just, God, I wish it could be incoherent enough to be fun. Like, to just have, like, just the random, like, okay, now you blow up my house, I guess I'll sleep on a couch on the street at, like, a homeless person. But it just never quite gels far enough to do that, and the fights are bad. I hated all the fights in this movie, genuinely. Like, I thought they were terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And they were poorly lit, poorly filmed, and I gotta go, like, 3 bags on this. I really did not like this at all. But Gary Daniels can't get the full 5 bags.
Nah.
But 3 is pretty low. It's pretty bad.
Man, what a joyful, great thing for me to return to. I'm glad that I took 2 weeks off so I could come back to this.
You missed some High Jocks movies while you were gone.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that. I appreciate you doing good movies,
Had no idea.
enjoyable bad movies, that get 1 to 5 jocks, as in robot jocks. This movie, however, is a bad movie, as in stay away. It will get somewhere on a negative sliding scale of 1 to 5 bags. Specifically 3, I think. I think I'm going to agree with Mackie on 3. It's a disjointed, poorly shot, poorly edited, poorly mixed.
Yeah. Oh, the mixing. God damn. Because some of the ADR
Sound is
comes through
terrible.
where it's something like, all right, I'm speaking. And then
Right.
the other line's like, hey, guy.
There was a whole scene that
What's going on?
looked like it was recorded with a fucking JVC VCR camcorder, and it sounded
probably
like
was.
it too.
I think it was edited between 2 VCRs as well.
Probably. It sounded like it was recorded with a friggin' JVC Handycam too, because it was like a student film bad. There was some sort of wild hum in the background, and the woman sounded like she was 40 feet away, and there was echo. And it's just like, this is a movie with fucking David Carradine in it. Come on, man. Like,
Well, that's another thing. You got fucking kung fu in your movie, right?
Right.
In your fucking kung fu movie,
and he doesn't kung fu anything.
and he just sits behind a desk the whole
Right.
time. Fuck off.
And the kung fuing that is in this movie is really not that good. I got bored. I was looking at my phone during fight scenes. Like, the only reason that I caught that pool cue thing was that I just happened to look up at the right time
You did look up at the right time.
and caught really the best part of any fight scene in this movie, which was a guy getting a tracheotomy with a fucking pool cue. But it's a mess. The story is incoherent. I would have to care more about it to give it worse than 3 bags. And I can't find myself caring much more about this movie.
Tracheotomy.
Tracheotomy. There you go.
There it is. Nice job.
You were workshopping it for a second.
I was thinking about
You
it.
see
I
the
could hear
wheels
the gears
turning.
grinding.
Yep. I'm gonna split from the group on this. I'm giving it a jocks. I think that
You're dumb sometimes. I love you, but you're dumb sometimes.
I've seen some shit
You're lucky you're pretty.
that does get me through life a lot. I've seen some shit. I've seen some low budget, unwatchable shit. This
Yeah,
is
just like a little bit ago, about an hour.
this. I mean, I at one point the three of you were on your phones. I never was ever tempted to pick up my phone and leave this movie. I was in awe of its terribleness.
Mm-hmm.
I think that its level of ineptness is part of its strength in my rating. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying
It's watchable.
that's something that makes it watchable. The fact that the sheer volume of fights in it is something. I mean, at least there aren't long drawn out dialogue scenes of bullshit. It's just the movie just gets to the next thing, and the next thing only lasts for 4 seconds before dudes show up to start fighting. So you've got that. You've got the lady blowing up his house. You've got that fucking insane car thing 5 minutes after that where a dude is just like, we got away. Oh no. And then they blow up for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
You've got him just parking next to a sofa that he sees and immediately deciding that's where he lives now. You've got that warehouse exploding. You've got the thing with the quarters. You got that line of dialogue. You've got that line of dialogue, which leads to the return of that guy, who then gives a cool line of dialogue, and then that dude gets fucking impaled with a pool cue. There's enough little tiny things in this to go, you know what? That's all right. The movie's shit. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it is $12, and BJ was right. Some of it seems to be filmed with a handy cam, and the microphone was in the floor most of the time for no reason. They didn't take it out of the box.
If it was anywhere nearby,
yeah,
it was
like
in the floor.
like any scene in the police station, it's like they put the microphone in the hallway because you're hearing like random workplace chatter louder than you're hearing the dialogue of the movie. But I don't know. I would say, you know what, you should watch that dumb movie. So I gotta get, by definition, I gotta give it a jocks.
Okay.
I think you should look for a supercut instead, and then give it at least 2 bags. You should recommend a supercut and give it 2 bags.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to give it 2 bags right now.
No
Yeah.
supercut
Yeah,
recommendation.
no. I mean, I'm almost in the 3-bag camp, but like, here's the thing: is like there are a plethora of explosions. They actually kind of almost make me angry because, like, I mean, they're obviously stock footage. You know, other than they had an establishing shot of Gary Daniels' house. That's the only one I think maybe they actually did. But then I'm like, I look at the rest of the movie, I'm like, you didn't blow up anything. Like, you must have just had maybe a shot from that stock footage before it blew up that you inserted and just say, here we are, establishing shot.
Right.
The only thing that like Gary Daniels does that like is kind of cool is like he has this like hype up before I go fight training thing where he's wearing like his little spandex shorts and stuff, and like I'm not saying like, yeah, cool, he's in spandex shorts and all oiled up. I mean, if that's your thing,
That's
great.
okay.
But he's actually showing off like the moves that made him cool later in this scene. Like he is doing, super high kicks. He's doing like the Van Damme style split between 2 chairs while lifting weights. I mean, it's just like he's like showing off like, all right, I see glimpses of the Gary Daniels that you will become. You're not here this early in your career, and it didn't help that you were in a movie directed by one of the most inept directors I think I've ever seen. This guy's made a lot of more movies. I think a couple more with Gary Daniels, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right.
And I hope he got better. Like he couldn't have gotten worse. I mean, as far as not shooting enough coverage or having a script or whatever he did wrong, which is a multitude of things. But yeah, it almost approaches that level for me, if you just need to see this because it is a truly bad movie. But man, it's a real bad one. Like if you know anything about the process of film, it will infuriate you even more. If you just have simple human geography and logics, it will fuck with you too. It's just bad. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
I could keep going on a soapbox about how bad this movie is, but almost watchable because of Gary Daniels and other dumb shit, but still not there. I'm sorry. Anyway.
All right.
Let's take a break, shall we?
Okie dokie.
He sure makes movies with good titles. Yeah. I'm not saying any of them are actually good, but I mean, he can attach himself to some movies with titles.
Mm.
Big old title.
Karate Wars. Full Impact. Power Elite. Okay, well, his next Gary Daniels movie is only 72 minutes long, so maybe we should watch that.
Man.
I have one movie to discuss.
I have no movie to discuss.
I have 0 movies to discuss.
However, for mid-show banter, I can confirm to the internet that Evan McKenzie is real, and he's spectacular.
I was jealous. I was like, "Oh, you met Evan."
Yeah. He's a nice
I
dude.
will never be on the West Coast ever again, so
Why not?
not going to happen.
Never say never.
Yeah,
Why?
because I just don't get to take vacations ever. So.
Oh.
Well, that's
Oh.
defeatist. Like you're going to be doing what you're doing
trust
forever.
Me, I'm gonna have all this money, and I'm not gonna be ever able to spend it because I have nowhere to go
Well, you
and no time to go there.
I got
Save
no
it up.
place else to go.
Yeah, kind of.
save it up and then take a less money job, or save it up and then take a different job where you can be all sorts of vacationy, and then spend all that money on.
See, my problem
vacationing.
is I did it backwards, and I did the job where I don't have any money, but I had like years of vacation time,
Yeah,
and then I left that one and went to the job where I get all the money.
but see, this is
Basically, it's
your
one of those
next
things where like
your
if
next
you take
step
a
is
day
more
off-
vacation.
Yes.
I promise.
Yeah, where you take a day off and then you're just like punished because you come back and you're like, oh fuck, nobody did any of my work. Now I have to do twice as much work.
Well, see, you're what? It's sort of a middle-ish management position right now, right? So your next position will be where you can just be like, all right, see y'all in 2 weeks. Hey, Bill, remember to get all the shit
Yeah.
done, and if it's not done
That's
when
what-
I get back, you're fired.
That's what
and I'm
our
gonna
own-
kill your family.
Our owner went to Dublin for like 3 weeks.
See, you're getting there,
Yeah.
on your way.
Yeah, but he's definitely one of those guys that'll come in like mid when you're doing something and then start critiquing it, and you're like, I'm not done.
You can
I'm
be that
like-
guy soon.
You know, like I'll have a design on the screen, and I'll just have like like Helvetica, and just type the words for spacing.
yeah.
And he'd be like, it's kind of a plain font choice, don't you think? I'm like, I'm not going to sit there for 20 minutes and go through fonts. I do that last. I have to get the layout right, but I can't do that. I go, no, don't worry. It's only I'm middle of it. Where I'm gonna be like, I'm not fucking done. Go away. But
Next time you
I
should
can
just
do
write temp font in the words, like instead of the actual words.
Yeah.
Why did you put temp font in there? That's weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
you,
anyway.
you need to explain yourself more forcefully, buddy, to your boss.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, listen, this is my process.
No, I'm still in the part where like I could get fired at any minute.
You got to set expectations now, man.
Yeah. That's how you become a great man.
And
You just hang your balls out there.
if you get fired, then you'll have a job where you can take as much vacation as you want, which is unemployment.
Mm.
And then you can
He's
take a
got a
different
point.
vacation.
That's my favorite job I've ever had, by the way.
unemployment.
Yeah.
Mine too.
It's fucking great.
It
Pay
was-
sucks, but the benefits
pay sucks,
also
yeah.
suck.
Yeah.
But all the vacation you get.
It's the lack of insurance that kind of sucks the worst.
Oh.
Because like Cobra, they're just like, all right, yeah, you can stay on Cobra. It's only $1,500 a month.
I went like 7 years without any insurance.
I went most of my life
Yeah.
without insurance.
Yeah,
It's fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
no, you can't. Well, now you can't have gaps in insurance.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Don't worry. Well, that's all going to get repealed real quick, I'm sure. It's going to
Yeah,
be
and
mandatory to not have insurance.
Yeah,
and
but
you're
then
gonna-
pre-existing conditions will be back, and it's like, all right, yeah, here's your death sentence. Have fun. So, you know.
The Porsche photo is. I thought I explained that pretty well on the Twitters.
Yeah, thanks, patreon.com/BMFcast.
Yes, that's our new car.
Kidding.
Yeah, I bought it with Patreon money and drove it out there. No, I rented a Porsche to drive through, drive up the PCH and drive through the canyons in California. And
We're not in any way affiliated, but please, I was not aware of this. What was the site you used for like renting exotic cars for like a day?
it's called Turo, Turo, and it's like Airbnb for cars.
Yeah, I
And,
was not aware this was a thing, and
Neither was I until I
Kind of makes me wonder what's around here.
Not really good
No.
stuff around
May
here.
I
but-
ask the price for a day in that car?
So the price was $65 a day.
That's it?
Yeah, for that. It's a 2006. It's got some wear on it. It
Yeah.
had like 150,000 miles on it, but it still goes like a.
Was it a manual transmission?
It was not.
Like a deflator mouse out of Hades.
Yes, like a Flittermouse out of Hades. It was the Tiptronic, so the buttons on the steering wheel.
Oh, okay.
It didn't have flappy paddles, but it had buttons on the steering wheel.
Okay.
So it is a good 20-foot car, but when you get up close, you can see that it's been run through its paces. But it was still a really nice car. All told, I think because they tack on fees and everything, and I bought insurance because
Of course.
I didn't want to accidentally slide it off a canyon and have to pay.
Yeah, if you drove off a cliff and it exploded,
Right, I didn't want to pay.
which I have heard cars do when they have driven
That's
off
precisely
a cliff.
what happens.
Yeah.
But when I didn't want to have to pay, or my estate to have to pay the $16,000 or whatever for a replacement 2006 Porsche Boxster. But it was a really good ride. It was a whole lot of fun, like carving through the canyons with the top down as fast as I dared was just a silly little dream I've had for a while. And
Yeah, that
it's
and
like-
meeting Evan were the only two times I was like, man, BJ sucks. Otherwise, you were like, yeah, it's like 3,000 degrees here, and I think I'm dying.
yeah.
And I was like,
Well-
I'm glad I'm not BJ right now. But
Well, okay.
those two times, I
So-
was like, man, BJ's a lucky dude.
So how about this? I got to eat tacos with Leah Thompson.
Really?
It was pretty cool.
Was her picture on the wall behind you in the whatever taco place
No,
you ate at?
I was at the after party for the LA premiere of a show that my friend works on.
Okay.
So, and that show is Get on Your Feet, which is the Gloria Estefan story musical.
Mhm.
And I got to see Gloria Estefan in person, and I got to see Sheila E. in person. I got to witness
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder. Thank you. My brain just shut down for a second. I got
Alright.
to witness Stevie Wonder from like 20 feet away. I saw him.
I will get you to that higher ground.
Yeah. So those are really cool things as well.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't all like just LA is hot and smells like piss and weed. But
Though it does.
yes. But that wasn't all of it. There was a really cool Star Wars bar on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, yeah, you did mention that, too. I was like, BJ sucks.
Yeah. That was a really good bar.
I'm glad you had a good time there, though.
Yeah, it was the second best vacation I've probably had in my life, and the second, maybe first. I don't know. It's maybe tied for the first vacation or best vacation I've had of my life and this year. So, banner year for me in vacations.
Good. How long were you gone? Like 10 days? Longer?
11 days total.
Man.
So 2 days, basically 2 days of travel.
Yeah, I have not taken a vacation. I couldn't even tell you last time I took a vacation that long. It's always like week in between, and then the rest of that weekend. It's never that big long chunk of fuck work. I'm living life.
Yeah,
type thing.
It just worked out because of the July 4th holiday and the fact that I didn't have to pay much for my lodging since my roommate working out there
Yeah.
had the lodging pretty much taken care of. So it made all that pretty easy.
Did you see Jeff Goldblum play in a jazz bar?
I did not. Apparently, it's a semi-regular but mostly random thing, and it didn't seem to be happening while I was there.
He must have been filming some sort of thing.
Probably.
Filming his 5 minutes of Jurassic World that he appeared in.
Yep. I did not hear any gunfire when I was in LA. I hear more gunfire at home. And also, like...
That makes sense.
but I didn't go to, like, the rough parts of LA. I was just mostly in sort of the eastern part of Hollywood.
You did not bring your ass over to Crenshaw and Slauson?
Nope, I did not.
Oh.
I did not. No Compton, no Inglewood, no South Central.
And you didn't go to Van
Inglewood's always
Nuys.
up to no good.
Yeah. What's that?
And you didn't go to Van Nuys.
I didn't go to Van
Nuys!
Nuys. No.
Damn it.
I was tempted.
You should have Toru'd a van and driven to Van
yeah.
Nuys.
Van
Nuys!
Van Nuys.
The one time where I was in control of a vehicle near Van Nuys,
Van Nuys!
I was coming up the 101.
Yeah?
And traffic was pretty thick, and I was really hungry, so I didn't want to stop.
Oh, I was going to give you the traffic copter thing. It's not like you were going to give us a report.
There's
Nuys!
there's so many helicopters all the fucking time.
Oh, sure.
In LA, it's the weirdest thing. Like just
Every news organization, every...
65
yeah.
police choppers.
We call them Hueys now.
Because somebody has always taken over a skyscraper, and it needs
Yeah,
liberating.
it's true. It's true.
And news crews have to cover it.
It's true. But
Is there a drive-in diner every 5 feet like the 70s movies taught us, or are they all gone now?
most of them are gone. I saw a couple that were pretty sweet,
Okay.
but yeah, I look forward to going back. I will say that as sort of my final.
Hollywood didn't chew you up and spit you out, huh?
No, like Hollywood just welcomed me with open arms. Like the place we were staying, there were two really cool bars within a block of our apartment. There was a cool bodega, and I was 2 blocks from Hollywood Boulevard itself. And I just kind of like made myself a local, hung out at the local bars and did local things. Met some local folks. I have new friends in LA now.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
Sweet. And you ate at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
I did eat at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles with one of the locals that I met. Like, my roommate and I were out for drinks and, like, randomly met this nice young lady. And nothing happened.
A lady.
But just the night was coming to an end, and we're like, we're hungry. We should go get food. And she's like, yes. And I'm like, all right, let's go. I don't know. Where can we go right now? And Chicken and Waffles came up, and we're like, let's fucking go. So we Ubered off to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. And
So we Ubered off to
Yeah.
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
well, we didn't drive because we were all shithoused. Thank you very much.
Just sentences we say in the 21st century. So we Ubered off to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles because we was shithoused. I met
know.
a special lady.
Go to Roscoe's, try the Obama.
What's the Obama?
It's chicken wings and waffle. Instead of, like, like a breast or a thigh or a leg, it was just a few wings and a waffle.
All right.
I would be wearing my Roscoe's t-shirt right now if they had any Roscoe's t-shirts in my size, but they did not.
That's a shame.
Were they all too big or too small?
Yes,
Okay.
they did not have my size in
All right.
anything. They had no larges.
Okay.
Weird. LA is cool. You should visit there and bring plenty of money because it is expensive.
I will.
Well, should we do a second half?
Yeah, I don't think we need to.
Van Nuys.
Yes, we should do a second half.
All right.
All right, welcome back.
Hey, BMFcast.
Half number 2.
Yeah, we have some movies to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
I saw 2
I
movies in
don't,
the
but you
theater,
do.
but you said
Mine's video, so your theater stuff comes first.
Okay. I didn't cover it last week when I should have, but because I just didn't have time. But I finally went and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Hey, yeah,
All
that's
right,
a,
so
Hey.
that's a new Marvel
Figure
movie.
that's a thing I should talk about.
I want to see that.
Strangely, I think I have to be extremely brief about this movie because I feel like anything I want to talk about is going to be spoilery.
Oh.
All I will really say that's not spoilery is not since the Guardians movies, maybe not the second one as much, but like this one is just a happy ass feeling movie. Like I mean, it's just like when it is over, I just had a great big old smile on my face, and and I think it was like I needed that in a Marvel movie after Infinity War, So this was just like, oh man, yeah, this is fun. Like this is fun. We're having good times. The fun stuff is happening here. It's not that I don't like the first one. I really like the first one. I think I might like this one more, though. I mean, I've only seen it the once now, but just initial impression was I enjoyed them not having to do setup and just getting right into it. Like, look, you know who all these people are. Is just here's more adventures. Like, I felt like that this movie needed that. Like, and you know me, I'm a sucker for origin stories.
Yeah, but that's kind of been the secret of the good Marvel movies. Is a lot of them are just like, all right, now we can just go.
Yeah, I think the thing is like I like a good origin story movie for a character I care about. Scott Lang, I don't give a shit. I mean, he's fun in the movies. He's not origin story not that interesting. Like there's nothing super cool about how he became Ant-Man. It's just like, hey, he's a criminal and having to break into this house, and they're like, hey, maybe you'd be a good Ant-Man. It's like there's not much of a cool backstory or anything like that. It's just like, hey, well, we can't use Hank Pym because he's an asshole in the comics. So
You'll do.
like it's just like, I mean, people would have just eventually been like, hey, we're not watching fucking Hank Pym. He's a goddamn wife beater. Like we're not watching this shit. But anyway, so it's a whole lot of fun. I mean, there's more I want to say, but it's spoilery. Like the, fuck, I can't even say it like a little bit. Like, just I can't even say like what is I want to talk about because that would even like I know what. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Like if you're keeping up with Marvel, like I cannot say a thing about what I want to talk about. That's
basically the post-credit scene, I'm guessing. Yes. Okay.
It's
fine.
Everything. Everyone.
I don't
has
know
said,
any of it.
Oh my god, the mid-credit,
well, okay.
after-credit thing.
If I can do anything that the one that's after the credits, don't bother. Just don't unless you're going to watch it at home.
It's become like the joke.
It's
thing.
not. It's barely
ever since the shawarma scene. That
it's barely even a joke though.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like when it happened, like people in the theater were like, "Oh, that was bullshit," because like I don't know why people are yelling at a screen like they can fucking hear you, but like they mentioned they were like that was as dumb as the one after Spider-Man. I was like, the one after Spider-Man was fucking awesome. Like that's such a good meta joke. I mean, Captain America, like how many more of these things we got to do?
Yeah.
That's a great fucking joke. It's like you obviously didn't get it, even though it's not that hard or that deep. But anywho, sorry, I just realized that's what she said. I just said to myself.
that is what she said.
Yeah. Fuck. All right. I don't have anything
So move
else
on.
to say. Yeah.
To another movie that I want to see.
Last thing about Ant-Man and the Wasp. I didn't look if it's the same young actress who played his daughter as the first one.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
She's fucking great.
Yeah.
And they're like her and Paul Rudd's chemistry is fucking amazing. Like I totally buy that that's his daughter. Like it's just like their family drama shit is so good. And it's not remotely spoilery, but like the few times that Bobby Cannavale and Judy Greer show up, like it's so much fun that they're like 180'd from the first movie.
Oh,
like they're like best friends now,
Oh,
like all
right.
of them, and I think it's because it's like, oh, you're a fucking superhero. That's cool. Like forgive all your other shit. Like be a deadbeat dad from time to time. It's like it's so good. Like just that the whole family dynamic in that movie is so good.
Cool.
But yeah, it's good and you should see it.
Okay.
You want me to keep going?
Yes.
All right. Saw another
Yes.
movie. I guess this movie is actually newer now because I think it just came out this past weekend. Today I went and saw Sorry to Bother You.
I hear fantastic things about that.
Yeah. Wow. That is that is certainly a thing. That is a movie. It
Yeah.
is I've been trying to like piece together my thoughts about this since I walked out of the theater. Because obviously I don't want to be spoilery and I knew very little about this movie going in, other than I was aware of who wrote and directed it in Boots Riley, only from musically speaking. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then Lakeith Stanfield from, being the greatest character on Atlanta.
Yep.
I didn't really know anything else. Like, I didn't know nothing about the rest of the cast even. I didn't look at anything. I could discuss it unless you want to be as completely unsullied as I was, but the rest of the cast is fantastic. Like I said, I only saw a poster and was like, people are saying good thing about this. I want to go see it because I think Lakeith Stanfield is great, especially in Atlanta. So I was like, I need to see this movie. Rounding out the cast, I'll just say it. Sorry if you don't want to know, but I didn't know Tessa Thompson was in it.
Yep.
Terry Crews is in it in a smaller role. Danny Glover's in it. Didn't know he was in it.
If you see a commercial for this movie, all those
I
people.
hadn't. I mean,
I know.
that's
I'm
what
just saying.
Like,
I'm just saying if you see a commercial.
Glenn from the Rocky Walking Dead's in it.
Yep.
Like,
it's got a good cast.
yeah. I mean, and then like some voice roles were funny too. Because I don't know if you know anything about the movie, but I will try to be as unspoilery as I possibly can. It's I don't know if this will be spoilery, but I've heard several people liken it most to They Live of all things. The John Carpenter They Live.
Yeah, I've heard that same thing. Yeah.
That's not completely inaccurate, but I would say it's like if They Live met Office Space met also Idiocracy as directed by Michel Gondry.
Oh God.
That's how I would put this movie together. Like
Okay.
if I had to be like a water cooler pitch, that would be it. Like if I just had to say like this meets this, that's it. And if that sounds weird or crazy, it's because it is.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I even really want to talk about anything to do with the plot because I'll handle what happens in like the first 10 minutes just to give you a setup. It's a dude played by Lakeith Stanfield. He's got Tessa Thompson as a girlfriend, but like everything's portrayed like he's this loser. Like, he drives a shitbox car. He lives in his uncle's garage, who's Terry Crews' his uncle. And then it's just like, I'm going to get a telemarketing job. That's going to make everything better, because, I just need a job. And after that, everything just gets fucking weird and crazy. And, I don't want to talk about anything else that happens after that. But that's the base setup of this movie is like, he's portrayed like this loser, but it's like, okay, you have a super hot girlfriend. Yeah, okay, you live in a garage and you drive a shitbox car, but you're not doing that poorly, really. I don't know. It's really good. I mean, I will say that. I guess I didn't say that off the bat. I highly recommend watching it. I don't think you can possibly prepare yourself for what this movie actually is or where it goes. It's one of those kind of movies, so which means it will not be commercially popular. 75% of crowds are going to be like, huh? For like all the entire movie. But it's great, and if you're open to weird-ass shit, it certainly is that, and it's good at doing that. And there's some fucking hilarious stuff in this. Like, there's points where there's so much funny thrown in, sometimes in the background, that it's like, I'm definitely going to have to see this again. And I feel like this is one of those movies where it's like, a year or two from now, like, nobody will remember this movie, unfortunately. I mean, unless it gets some sort of award buzz or something like that. It just feels like one of those movies that's going to fly sort of under the radar, and then it's going to become a cult classic. Like, it's just going to be one of those things where it's like, holy shit, have you seen this? Like, when it gets to video. It'll start spreading like that, but I don't know. There was a decent crowd for going at 2:00 in the afternoon, surprisingly.
On a Wednesday.
Yeah, on a Wednesday. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's doing better. Maybe word of mouth is spreading. I don't know. It's a tough sell for mainstream audiences.
Is that the only theater it was playing at, the one you went to? Or it is all over?
Yeah, I think it's at a decent number
pretty
of theaters.
wide, yeah.
But I mean, it was like, this is opening week, and it was when I was walking in the theater, it was like max capacity 37. So it was already in like the pretty tiny ass theater.
Yeah.
Like in the very back of the theater. So, but
The solo theater.
yes, yeah. But yeah, it's really good. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't going to get to the theater to see it. But
Yeah, I might be able to convince Jen to go see it because it has Darius in it.
Okay.
Well, it has Lakeith Stanfield in it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. There's shit that happens in that movie. I don't know your wife will be cool with.
Oh no.
No. I mean, no. Not the big one. Not the red flag.
They don't hurt any dogs.
No, that's what I'm saying. Not
Okay.
the red flag thing. I'm just saying this movie gets fucking weird, and I don't know if you're prepared or she's prepared for how fucking weird this movie gets.
Sometimes she is.
Sure.
You never know. Sometimes.
I don't know her as well as you do. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, this movie gets fucking nut job by the end.
I'm this close to texting you every time I watch something, and it was like, "Oh, you can't watch this random movie."
I have.
Just go to doesthedogdie.com.
I've done it before.
I should start crowdsourcing.
I've done it before. Like when it's a new movie, I'm just like, sorry to tell you this.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's amazing. It's amazing. Crazy. Crazy.
Oh.
It's all the
amazing.
It's all the Aerosmith songs on that one album.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, let me tell you a tale about something I watched.
Okay.
Ooh.
I did something I never ever do, which is I got an email from Vudu. It said, "Hey, how would you like $3 off a digital copy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't really like to take a chance on stuff like that. I'm gonna get the disc." But there was something that was coming out that wasn't out on disc yet, and I was like, "Okay, for $16, I'm probably gonna end up owning that. So let me just go ahead and spend the money, and we'll have a weekend." And my wife wanted to see this movie. I wanted to see this movie, so we'll watch it early. It'll be fun. That movie was Ready Player One.
You own Ready Player One now, huh?
I wish I could delete it from my Vudu account.
I really don't understand you two's reaction to this movie. I actually recently rewatched it.
So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
My main thought coming away from the film was like, okay, Spielberg made a movie. It is a well-made motion picture from a technical standpoint. I'm not going to argue with any of that. I'm not going to be one of those idiots who's like 1 star, trash, pure trash, because from a technical standpoint, that is a well-directed, fantastic special effects motion picture.
Mm-hmm.
The story is trash. The story is garbage. And so I was not one of those people who got swept up in the book either way. Not like into the book or saying the book was problematic. None of that. I ignored the fuck out of the book. I literally know nothing about it except that some people really like it, and then there was this outcry on Twitter for a while where people were like, "This is trash." I know all that happened, but I never took a side. So I went into this movie completely clean.
Mm-hmm.
There's no substance to this movie. It's all references. And most of them are just trinkets laying around in the background. And it's like, I recognize these things because I am a pop culture person. I'm wearing a pop culture t-shirt. I've got pop culture stickers on my car. I'm that kind of person. I recognize that the thing this object is coming out of is Gizmo's box from Gremlins. I get it. Why is it Gizmo's box from Gremlins? Why does that matter? Why does any of the things in the background matter? Why do any of these props matter? Why do any of these references matter? None of them do. The only one that does is the movie's midsection, the second act, which is this long extended reference to a thing. I'm not going to say what thing it is because some people haven't seen it yet, and it took me by surprise, and it took my wife by great surprise because that ain't in the book, the thing they do. So that is how you use a reference to something and do it well because it is integrated into the story in a way that makes sense, and it's not just, hey, remember this? And then they dash off and do something else. So when the movie was over, my wife, who was a fan of who was a fan of the book, asked me what I thought of it, and I hesitated to come out and say how much I disliked it because I knew she liked the book. So I kind of danced around the fact that I just didn't care for it. I wish we could delete it. And she said, I wish we could delete it too. That is absolutely not what I wanted it to be. And my wife was asking me like each week, like, is Ready Player One out yet? Can we see it? Because like we missed it in the theater because we had too much stuff going on. And she was like, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? So from the standpoint of someone who loved the book, she didn't like it. And from the standpoint of someone who completely ignored the book 100%, I didn't like it then. And the more I think about it, the less I like it. Like I keep just going back to things that are in it. And I'm just like, what was the point of that? And like my wife will explain things like oh well, you know, they knew everything about 80s culture because they were trying to figure out this dude. Well, the movie doesn't do a damn bit of good explaining that to you. It just seems like pop culture at some point in the universe ended.
I have to disagree with you there.
I don't.
I haven't read the book or anything, but I got that whole thing that basically everyone knows all this shit because all they've ever done is research this one asshole.
It didn't feel like.
Why is he an asshole? I really don't understand that. I actually want to know why the negative reactions to this.
Because he's basically laid out this path for everyone in the movie that the only way to have a good life is to like the shit I like.
I don't really agree with that. I mean, I think it's like...
I was more annoyed by its thinly veiled, this is just Willy Wonka. Mm-hmm. That's all this is. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and you're the only one who wasn't an asshole, so you win.
Here's the weird thing, is I actually feel like the movie, and I think the book is better than the movie. I don't love the movie. I just think the movie's okay and kind of fun to watch. I feel like the movie actually did a better job explaining I felt like the movie took more strides to say, don't obsess about my life. You know, like everyone did, because they were trying to cover all bases of, it's obviously got to be about him. It's got to be about things he liked, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's more, I feel like it's more along the lines of, the idea is, if someone likes the same things I like, they will have the same vision for what I've created. And I don't think that's inherently a bad thing. I do feel like it was written in a time before the world was suddenly exploded, and there's literally no more such thing as hero worship. Like, I mean,
right.
Everything is immediately milkshake ducked. You know, like you can't.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this was written in a time where it was like, okay, it's okay to, we understand Steve Jobs is kind of an asshole, but like it's okay to like and emulate, or want to be him, or want to do things that he's did. But now it's like, no. He was an asshole. He didn't recognize his daughter. Fuck him. Fuck him. He's dead. Fuck him. Like, I mean, it's like the world is like, there's no such thing as heroes anymore.
Right.
I mean, everything,
Everyone's terrible.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, it's like,
Not Jeff Goldblum.
if the dude gets us to Mars, it doesn't matter. People would be like, Elon Musk is an asshole. It doesn't matter. I mean, yeah.
He's proven that right now, but...
Well, you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's just like, it doesn't matter anyone's accomplishments. It's like, they will focus on the worst things they've done. They've been trying to even do it with people that have been dead for 50 years. I mean, I don't understand what the world's... I understand there's no such thing as a true hero. But, like, to remove all hope, I mean, to, like... I expect in, like, 10 years' time, we're going to find out that, like, Mr. Rogers was secretly a fucking Nazi. Like, literally everybody that, like, anybody who, like, tries to prop up as a hero, it seems like somebody is hell-bent on finding out something about them and tearing them down.
People have tried with Mr. Rogers for like 25 years.
Sure.
That man's
Yeah,
clean
they
as a
basically
whistle.
just had to make up stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm saying it's coming from a point in time where, as far as hero quote unquote worship goes, it's not inherently a bad thing. I mean, I feel like we're now watching this through a lens of, we've made it through, tearing down of all heroes, the Me Too movement, everything else. It's like we're coming at it from a different era now. And I think in a way that's why it works to give it to someone like Spielberg, who is very much of the old school, of like, I still can recognize this. I don't think there's enough Spielberginess in it. Like, I feel like...
Well, he purposely took it out.
Well, no, I mean, I feel like there should have been extra care taken where maybe you cared about that his kind of shitty aunt died. Like, I mean, there should have been like a little bit more care taken to the family drama stuff,
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is like, this movie is basically 10 minutes outside of Avatar world with real people. The rest of it is a CG nightmare. But yeah, I mean, the villain of the movie is kind of goofy and not menacing, which really makes the thing that he does in the midsection of the movie like odd. Like, when he shows up at that place at the end, they should have torn him apart.
Right.
And they're just like, grr, hey, we're here, and you're a weird CEO, grr. It's like, no, they should have murdered him, like, on sight for what he did. And it's not that kind of movie, and that's what's so strange about it, is that every step of the way, everything that they do, with the exception of, like I said, that 20-minute midsection, which is like, okay, this is rad. Like, what you're doing here, and I'm not even a fan of that movie. That the whole midsection is about. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I was able to recognize, okay, this is cool. You're doing something cool with this. But it's like, and I'll be as vague as I can. The first clue that the guy figures out that gets him the first key seems so fucking obvious. Like, this entire corporation of people that have been hired to solve this puzzle didn't figure that out. Seems fucking dumb because it wasn't that hard to figure out. I overthought it. I was like, he's got a DeLorean. The quote is he's got to go back, use the DeLorean, which is a time machine, to do time machine stuff with it, and that would be good. Not the literal fucking meaning of what he said, which was stupid.
Yeah.
It just use
the more
things.
I think about that movie, the more all of its weird messages bother me.
I just want them to use the things as more than a reference. Use them specifically as parts of a story.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just none of it rose beyond having a bunch of stickers on your car. It really didn't. I mean, I started reading the trivia. Like, I'm seeing stuff in the background. I recognize that, yeah, there's Pee-wee's bike in the background, and there's the TARDIS over there and stuff like that. But I'm just reading more stuff in the background. It's like, oh, if you squint in this corner, you can see this and this. And I'm just like, what the fuck is even... What is the point of this? Like, who is this for? Like, I recognize that. So fucking what? It's like the Dark Tower was shit. And they stuffed that thing with like, oh, here's Cujo. Oh, that car looks like Christine. It's like, gives a fuck. Like, what does this have to do with anything? Your story sucks. Don't distract me by, oh, Christine just drove by. Christine's a cool movie. Meanwhile, back to this movie, which sucks.
At least in the Dark Tower, for its foibles, like, that universe, the Stephen King literary universe, Dark Tower universe, is all sort of connected. So a lot of those things do show up.
In the books, that would
their
make
books,
sense,
yeah.
but it's not... That movie was a self-contained 90-minute train wreck.
It's not contextualized necessarily, but at least it has an excuse, a better excuse, I feel.
Yeah. I just feel that way now. Like, every Stephen King movie comes out, and it's just like fucking BuzzFeed 13 things you didn't see in the background of It Chapter 2, and it's just like, just tell your story, man. Just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just sad. It made me sad, and it made me want to tear the decals off my car.
I don't get it. I really don't. But whatever. It's you. You do you.
It is. It's me.
No, I'm saying
No,
do whatever you
It's
like.
me too. The more I think about that movie, the more I'm like, fuck it. Fuck that thing. It's one of those, what is it, Salzburg and whoever movies, where they're not even jokes, they're just references to things.
Yeah.
That's what that movie feels like. It feels like and I think it's more the potential is what really gets me about it.
It's a Spielberg movie about Spielberg movies. And he was like, I can't have my movies in this. That's not right. And stripped all that stuff out.
But you didn't, though.
For the most part, he did.
Not really. The DeLorean is produced by Steven Spielberg.
I know,
When
but
the T-Rex comes up, it is very much the Jurassic Park
I
T-Rex
know, but
roar.
there were very specific references, and there was supposed to be a huge section devoted to Close Encounters that they couldn't get the rights to Close Encounters, which blows my mind that Spielberg couldn't get the rights to his own movie. But they couldn't do that. So,
Yeah.
But I mean, he specifically said, like, I'm taking these things out. I'm not doing this.
I don't know, because to me, the references aren't what drive the plot. They are there because it's a world that exists with people obsessed with following the quest, and the quest involves going back in time and being nostalgic, I guess. To me, it's like nostalgic isn't the driving force of the movie. It's just, it's a byproduct of the contest.
I know, but it's all we see. Like I said, we're out of that universe for 10 minutes. We're in the real world for 10 minutes. And I get it. It's a fucking nightmare world where stacks of RVs are on top of each other, and it's like, everyone should be in
and everyone
VR.
looks like an asshole wearing VR headsets.
That they do. Yes.
No one will ever look cool wearing VR.
No.
Ever. There's no way to dress it up. There's no way to change it. You look like an asshole, and you always will.
Yep.
The good thing about that, though, is you will have your VR helmet on, so you won't be able to see everybody looking at you like you're an asshole.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
unless you're one of those losers who can't afford a VR helmet in the future.
like in the final 20-minute battle or whatever, like the main bad dude's ride, basically, like when he throws down and is like, okay, here's my vehicle of choice. At that point, the movie almost won me back because, obviously. But then I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, what design is that? I don't even know what... I'm a fan of this thing and I don't know what they've done. Like, I don't know what this is. This is not familiar to me. And so even that was like...
So it wasn't referential enough for you?
It was because I don't know what it was. I don't know what the reference was to. But it just, a lot of it felt like that South Park trilogy, Imagination Land, of just like, oh, the Care Bears are over there. Hey, there's Stripe. Oh, look, they're running. Oh, it's fucking Pokemon. I mean, it's like others had done this already.
Okay. It's all right, man. You don't have to like it. I just don't understand.
No, he does. He owns it now.
I'm angrier than usual because I paid that much for it. So if it had just been a rental or something, I would have been like, whatever. But
you paid less than 2 tickets to the movie theater would have cost.
I know. It's an albatross around my neck now.
Yeah, it's always going to be on his Movies Anywhere.
It's always going to be right there.
Well, now I can watch it since
yes, you can.
It's on your Vooter.
Yep.
I can.
And my
sneak
Nana
it
can
out
watch
of your
it.
Vooter.
I don't know. Like I
Whoa.
said,
How'd you get in Chuck's Vooter?
Get out of my Vooter.
You know how I got in his Vooter.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think the movie's perfect at all. I was like, in rewatching it, I was just like, yeah, that's. I think in rewatching it, I divorced myself from trying to look for everything and just like watch the actual movie. Like the first time it was on a big screen, it was like, oh, thing.
Yeah.
And I did that, and then like I watched it again, I was like, all right,
I think
an adventure thing, solely as an adventure thing, if you take all that out, it's like, it's all right, it's okay,
Yeah.
it's fun, it's a child's adventure thing.
I once again, I was like, wow, this Spielberg child has a tragic family background, but then it was just like, and 7 minutes later, that's dealt with completely. It just...
Chuck,
Yeah.
I need you to read the book and then get back to me.
I do not want to do that.
I need you to read the book and then get back to me because I need an...
People have tweeted things at me like, oh, in the book it's this, and I'm like, well, fuck that.
I
I
think
understand-
you should do your wife a favor and read the book.
I understand the changes that they made. Like the changes from the book to the movie, because
I don't-
like there were things in the book that was
I'm
just
not
like,
even
watching this doesn't
concerned
even...
with that. I just want to see this experiment out, and I want you to do it.
Okay.
So I don't have to read the
Well,
book.
all right. I'll let you know when I do
God,
that.
books take so long.
They are. They're
books
very long.
suck.
Books are terrible.
I started reading.
The movie's better than the book because it's done sooner.
Right.
All right.
Over and done.
Universal.
Fuck books.
Movies is better than
The
books
movie
is.
will always be better than the book because the movie takes 2 hours and the book takes like 2 fucking weeks.
Exactly.
I am.
Books can fucking off.
I have
Books.
started to read.
Don't talk to me about books.
I'm gonna talk to you about
Get the
books.
fucking
It's a
book
movie
shit
book.
outta
It's a
here.
movie book.
Books are trash.
Cotton
you know
Comes
what
to
books
Harlem.
Are good for
that a
warming your hands.
Is that a good book?
Is you burn them.
I started to read Cotton Comes to Harlem.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting experience so far.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna guess it's not as good as the movie
So
You know
far,
why?
so far, no.
Yeah. They had
because
to,
the movie's a movie.
they had to bump it
That's
up,
why
make
it's
it
better.
interesting.
It's written very colloquially.
Oh.
Yeah. So
When was that book written?
1477.
Wow.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
It was only like a few years before the movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
Was it?
so.
Okay.
I seem to remember it being like a pretty contemporary
Okay.
thing at the time.
Cool.
So anyway,
Hang on.
Speaking of reading.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
you want me to read an email?
Oh, man. I would love to have an email read to me.
Would you? That sounded somewhat sarcastic.
No, it's what I need.
I'm gonna lighten the mood here. One of our loyal writers, Jay from Vegas, says, "I need your help, BMFcast.
Okay.
Hey, BMF crew, Jagus here, and I have a problem, but I'm gonna give you the abridged version. I recommended Rocky Horror to a girl in her early 20s, and she fucking loved it. After I recommended it, I learned she has zero experience with musicals and is desperate for more recommendations. I don't want to give her the rest of my top 5, Little Shop of Horrors, Xanadu, Grease, Hedwig, because I feel like I'm setting us up for failure. So where would you go with this? I'm leaning towards Disney with Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and Mulan, but I'm open to any suggestions as to where to go now that I set expectations so damn high. Oh, and without any prompt on my part, she saw The Greatest Showman, so I think Moulin Rouge and Chicago should also be on the list. Thanks in advance, Jay, sent from my 9 physical copies of the Rocky Horror Picture Show on various home video formats.
I need to actually pull that email
Stretch a
up
little
so I
before we get into this one.
The obvious answer is the apple.
can- True.
I
mean,
think I think you have to work to the apple.
I mean, his list immediately invalidates like anything I would say is a good gateway musical. I mean, you don't want to go to like hardcore musicals, Singing in the Rain, and
yeah, you do.
No, you do.
You go. I was about to say
yeah.
that's immediately where you go.
Like,
Singing in the Rain is great.
Yeah.
You go there first before Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
Fucking
Little Shop of Horrors is insane.
For a 20-year-old,
Little Shop of Horrors is insane.
it is, but it's great.
That's not an entry-level musical. Singing in the Rain, you've heard a lot of the songs before. The dancing is great. It's a light story for the most part.
It will put a smile on your face the
Yeah.
entire fucking movie.
It will make you happy about life and everything after.
And in fact, actually, maybe that's the only reason you don't lead with Singing in the Rain is like that's something you come in as like a maybe that because that could be a recovery, you know.
palate cleanser.
Well, I'm saying like okay, you show her one, she's like, I don't know about that one. You're like, fucking Singing in the Rain, bam, guaranteed.
Lead
Damn.
with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang then?
Well, I was gonna say if you want to step into the world of Gene Kelly, maybe do an American Paris
Maybe.
because like you know if you want to do some classic ones,
Me, I will always go for West Side Story.
sure, absolutely.
Because the songs are phenomenally well written throughout that, and some of those scenes get huge for a musical.
I like Oklahoma.
Never seen it.
I like it. Oh, please.
And this is dumb, but I love South Park. Bigger, longer, and uncut. It's basically a musical.
I was going to suggest that too, but that seemed
Yeah.
like it was on the banned list with the other cool musicals.
Well, I
No.
mean, I don't think he's saying like you know. I think it's more like these are the things I love near and dear, and I need to know if you're going to be on board with them before I get to them.
What was the one? What was the one that she loved?
Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror.
So if you want a quick and easy gateway from Rocky Horror, try Repo, the genetic opera. I feel like that's a segue from Rocky Horror.
I'm just baffled that we can say we're starting with Rocky Horror, but then Little Shop of Horrors is too much. Singing in the Rain is next.
No, he's just saying he's setting himself up for failure.
Yeah, you
Doing
can't. It's like making a good mixtape, man. You can't blow all your wad all at once. You know, like you got to just ease in.
Front load the mixtape. No one's
No.
going to listen past 5 songs.
See, this is why you guys aren't living life right.
I'm living
Chuck.
life quite right.
Chuck, do you even know how to make a mixtape?
Yes.
Front load the.
Front load
Nobody's
the
going to list
mixtape.
past 5 songs?
Nobody
Are you
listens-
insane?
No.
Yes. Yes,
No.
you are. You don't know how to make a mixtape.
I make a mix EP.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't. You don't make a mix
Fine.
EP.
Whatever. Y'all talk about your favorite musicals.
You suck.
We should know eventually.
Chuck is shutting down.
We'll just get Chuck out of the way. Eventually, Grease 2 will be said.
I wasn't going to say Grease 2.
You were going to say.
Why would I? If he says no Grease, why would I say Grease 2?
I don't think those things were off the
He's
list.
not saying
Chuck.
no. He's not saying don't ever show them. He's
Right.
just saying.
I know
like,
he's saying I don't lead with these next ones. Where would you guys go instead? But that list is like, yeah, that's the. I mean, what are you doing? Like, that's not a bad list, and it's not. I mean, just do it.
Dude.
Life is fucking short. Watch fucking Little Shop of Horrors
If you
right
want,
now.
if you want other gothy shit, watch Repo. Fuck, what else is there? I'm trying to think of like anything else that's like kind of. I mean, you know, you can watch the Tim Burton-y shit, but like Sweeney Todd, no, it's not very good.
No, not Sweeney Todd, no.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I mean, I'm trying to like
Not the Tim Burton version.
No, I'm trying to like pivot into like you know some gothy shit, but I mean, there's honestly not a lot in there. I
I
will
mean,
give
if
you-
she's gothy, you know,
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before
yeah,
Christmas.
I mean, you know, that's
or Coraline, or
Coraline a musical. That really is it? I thought it was just a straight up.
I don't think
like-
so.
is it
like
straight
that.
up? I can't remember. I seemed all of the Tim Burton things come with like tinkly music to me.
Tinkly.
If you're
Like
feeling
pee-pee.
if you're feeling bold, some that I would recommend. Look, religion aside, Jesus Christ Superstar is a fucking phenomenal movie and like full of good ass music. And that film version is amazing because Ted Neely's like heavy metal Jesus, and it's so goddamn good. Anyway, moving on. Hair is great. You get Treat Williams dancing, Beverly D'Angelo, directed by Milos Forman. It's fucking great.
Hair has a great soundtrack. The movie is fucking nuts.
The movie's fucking wonderfully nuts. Anyway, shit. If you want another off the wall one, and I don't think enough people have seen, what's the god Reefer Madness, the movie musical is fantastic. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, like, hit the big ones. I mean,
Watch
Yeah,
The
so-
Wiz.
So the live stream chat has a few.
okay,
Blues Brothers, being recommended by TTBF.
musical-esque, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, by that count, I mean, I was making reference to it earlier. You might as well say High Fidelity. But it's almost the same count. It's almost a
Yeah.
fucking musical.
Yeah. Also, votes from Evan for Guys and Dolls and Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the Roof's pretty good.
I really like Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have never seen a screen adaptation, but I've seen it on stage, and I love it.
I'm generally not a huge Andrew Lloyd Webber, Tim Rice fan. Like, I mean, I love Jesus Christ Superstar. But the other one I fucking adore to death, and I absolutely love the film version as Evita. I mean, that's a tough sell for a lot of people because they're like, fucking Madonna, get out of here. That movie's fucking amazingly directed. And Antonio Banderas in, like, the best version of Antonio Banderas you will ever see. Just saying.
You know,
I mean, you could.
yeah.
I mean, you can always do Shock Treatment. I mean, it's not Rocky Horror, but it's got some catchy songs in it.
I was just looking at the email again, and so she just saw The Greatest Showman.
Mm-hmm. That's fucking high energy right there.
Yeah.
Across the Universe. If you like,
I have
weird-ass-
somebody at work who listens to that soundtrack constantly.
Okay,
Jukebox.
There are some weird choices in that movie.
as far as like how the songs are presented.
Well, like which songs are presented.
Oh, like what?
Like, isn't one of them for the benefit of Mr. Kite?
Mm-hmm. That's the one that the user does, I believe.
Why? I haven't seen the movie, but I'm like, man, who said, man, you know what I would really want to cover for the benefit of Mr. Kite?
I don't care for that film,
Yeah.
so I agree with you.
Okay.
All right. I mean, but it's weird and it's super stylistic, which I would say is Rocky. That's why Rocky Horror works.
Yep. Well, I think that's plenty of recommendations.
Okay.
But his original list, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So just like pepper them in there.
Also, I would ask if you like Hedwig, have you ever watched Velvet Goldmine? I'll just throw that back out because like if you like Hedwig, you should like Velvet Goldmine.
I just had a thought because Disney musicals were mentioned.
I don't think many of them are great. I mean, Aladdin's got catchy songs, but a lot of Disney
Mary
music.
Poppins. It's goofy. It's charming. It's easy to digest. The songs are good. It's got lots of cute stuff in it. And then pair that up with either Singing in the Rain or Chitty Chitty.
Yeah.
Do a double feature one night and then move on to the next one.
Or fuck, I mean, eventually you need to see The Sound of Music. I mean, I'm not saying it's one of my favorites, but I feel like it's a thing you see when talking musicals.
I don't really like the
I
music
can't-
from Sound of Music, so
Really?
I can't. Yeah,
I can't ever think of that movie whenever anyone mentions it without thinking of that gif of her holding Uzis and spinning around
guns.
shooting the Uzis.
yeah, I just don't really like the music from Sound of Music.
I don't know. It's got a lot of catchy ass songs in it. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Sound of Music. I hate the title track. You know that operatic bullshit. I think that triggers my thing that like he hates about Freddie Mercury. Like when I hear her do fucking Sound of Music, it's like, oh Jesus, come off your goddamn high horse.
And
Billy.
I would recommend staying the fuck away from opera. It's not the same, but just
like all opera.
yes, because it's trash.
Wow, we were just
Bold stance.
we are the hot take cast tonight
Yeah.
here.
Books and
I-
opera.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, we are high class here.
And if you decide that you want her to break up with you, go for Dancer in the Dark. Thank you.
I'll throw out one more, even though everyone in the room will look at me like I'm crazy. Best little whorehouse in Texas.
I'm not. That movie's fucking great.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
I love musicals, so I can keep going, but I'm not going to.
No, let's not.
Voyage of the Rock Aliens.
Oh no. like I said.
Yeah.
So, BJ,
Yeah,
if someone wants to give us some musical recommendations,
BMF.
because we have
BMF
not covered
Oh,
all of the
sorry.
musicals thus
Sorry.
far. However, if there's one we didn't cover, Where
BMF
should
at
they go?
BMFcast.com. Easy peasy. I got that one. Next,
If they want to call us, what do they do?
910-5JOCKS-BMF, 910-556-9263.
If they want to follow us on the socials, all of them.
Go to BMFcast.com and look on the right-hand side. There's a bunch of buttons. Click them.
What if they want to get exclusive bonus content that they can't get anywhere else on the internet?
Pay us, motherfuckers. Patreon.com/BMFcast.
Okay.
I mean motherfuckers in the nice way.
Yes.
In the Samuel L. Jackson way.
As in the kind that creates children.
It doesn't have to
It's
create
a nice
children.
way. Right?
Just the nice way.
Okay.
Not a specific
the
nice
nice
way, just
motherfucker.
a nice way.
Just don't do any kick.
Yes, do not do
Beforehand.
kick or your child will be armless and legless.
No, it's
9
bad.
out of 10 kids recommend kick.
No, only one.
Okay, 1 out of
1
10
out of
recommends being able to kick.
9 out of 10 kids can't kick.
Yeah. There we go.
Because they don't have arms or legs.
Oh,
Yeah, it's good to be back.
welcome back, brother.
Thanks.
Well, is that all?
I think
Are
that's
we,
it.
Are we good? All right.
I think that awkward silence says yes.
Okay. Well, let's get out of here, shall we?
All right.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ,
I'm Chuck.
and this is BMFcast out. See you next week. No, we won't.
No, you won't.
No. No.
We'll all be dead.
What? No.
Oh.
We're just doing a different podcast.
Oh. All right. Fine. I'll change my plans.
Is that right?
That's probably a good idea.
Man, think about Soderbergh stuff. At some point, I should sit down and watch Che Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah.
That's an investment, though.
It sure is.
I have the. It might be DVDs.
I want
They
to
might
say
be
that
so
one that
old.
didn't come out on Blu-ray for some reason. Like
Yeah.
it was like in that weird.
Well, I know there was a
Transition
Criterion
time.
like 2-part of them, but yeah, I need to take the time. It's interesting too because like one's filmed in scope and the other one's 185.
All right.
scope.
185 no scope.
Yeah, and I started to watch Unsane, and I was just like, oh, I forgot this was the cell phone movie. I'm not in the mood. I mean, it's not that I don't want to see it. It was just like, nah, I can't watch
Well,
something that's like,
Like
you
I
know,
mentioned in the
4x3
chat, it's like
basically.
everything he's done since like 2001 is like I'm doing a genre exercise, which is why
Logan
like
Lucky
there's
was
so few.
very base.
Well, that's
Yeah.
when like when he came back, but so
Yeah.
many. That's why he has so many like 4-star movies, but they're not 5-star movies. They're not like truly awesome because it's more like I'm experimenting with this, and he kind of
Haywire was pretty good.
Haywire's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna watch it again, but like, as far as experimental, I thought the Girlfriend Experience was interesting. I mean,
Ugh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen all of those weird experimental things yet.
Oh man, Outlaw Vern wrote about Out of Sight. Fuck. Now I got to read it.
Mackie, you have to make it to the West Coast.
I know I
I just
do.
remembered why.
Why?
You have to sign Evan's copy of Cool Breeze.
Oh, I can do that.
Cool
It's got
Breeze.
one signature on it, so it's
Yeah.
incomplete.
So
I think so.
we could have done it here, man.
Wait, Cool Breeze? We watch Cool Breeze?
Yes, we loved Cool Breeze.
Cool Breeze,
Yeah.
the Val Kilmer movie.
No.
Is that not cool?
Cool Breeze, one of our Black Exploitation History months.
Oh, what the? I'm thinking of fucking Cool World. God damn it! I was like, first thing that popped in my head, I was like, fucking.
Yeah. I mean, Cool Breeze isn't great.
It doesn't end well.
Yeah.
It had potential.
Sorry,
Cool Breeze is pretty
totally on the wrong movie there.
We should watch Cool World.
That's why I was like, when the fuck did we cover that
We
movie?
did not watch Cool World.
Exactly. Confusion. Which one was Cool Breeze? Who's in that? Is that Thalos Rasulala?
Yeah.
I think it's the one he's on the cover with like a big medallion that's got like
Yeah.
a color
Okay.
symbol on it.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
Yeah, and I've already written the boring thing on there, so you guys can write cool things on there.
Mm.
I took that hit for you guys.
Okay.
What'd you write?
Cool
One
things
star
on
we're
Cool
in.
Breeze.
Mm.
Sure, like, stay sweet.
Yeah. Sign in your crack.
Yeah.
Have a
Be
have
cool,
a good have a
homie.
good summer.
I'm gonna pull up my high school yearbook and call those motherfuckers.
All those
Yeah,
numbers,
keep-
all those numbers are going to be out of
I
order.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
Every single one.
I'm gonna look them up on Facebook. Then. Like, hey,
I'm looking
you
all
said
over.
keep in touch, son of a bitch.
Just look up all the ladies
Yeah.
that said, say, stay sweet, and then be like, you know, I still am a sweet girl.
I'm getting.
I'm sweet for you.
25th high school.
God.
And I'm just like,
Oh, fuck.
I'm like, one, wow,
Mine's
that seems
next
like a long
year.
time ago. And two, I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a
I missed my
I
20th
honestly-
because I wasn't on Facebook. But like literally, that's the only way they organized, and I was like, "Oh, that
My
happened."
10th
Okay, whatever.
sucked, but the 20th was awesome because it was basically like a group of people said, just fuck it, we're meeting at a bar.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And that's all we did. And like we all had so much more fun than we did at the big formal thing with somebody putting a slideshow together and all that
Yeah.
bullshit.
They wanted, like,
I mean, I talked to people that I like never talked to in high school, and I talked to them for like hours.
They
it
wanted
was-
like $60 for ours, and it was at the Omni or something. I'm
Yeah.
like, nah.
Yeah, we all showed up at a bar and had a room, and we just fucking drank and hung out.
I think our
That
20th
sounds
was
great.
where
It was
your
the-
wedding was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was just like, nah, I don't want to hang out there.
Yeah, that's not a hangout place.
No.
It's a cool spot.
This is like a
Yeah.
bar one of the alumni owned. So we're like, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
We didn't get free drinks out of it, but
Eh.
we had our own room, so
We
it
got
was
free
good.
drinks at your wedding.
Oh, they weren't free. Let me tell you.
They were free for us.
Man.
Seems like I remember them being free.
What?
Free for you, right? Free,
Yeah, they're
free,
totally
yeah,
free,
yeah,
right?
free.
I
They
remember,
weren't
like,
free for him.
3 out of 4 if I
I
say
just remember,
free.
like 7 minutes into it, they were like, "Oh no, the money has been spent."
Yeah. We're like, hey, man, everybody here is like over 30. We're not going to. Yeah, it
Oh, no.
didn't work out.
It was Drink Central.
Yeah, that had to change quickly.
Yeah.
I only found out about that later. I was told much later. It's like, yeah, we had to kind of extend the bar a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I'm going to spend like the next week thinking about, well, I guess next 2 weeks thinking about other musicals that I forgot to mention. Oh, my goal. If I make more people watch Jesus Christ Superstar and Hair, though, I feel like my life is good.
Yeah, and then watch that Mr. Show sketch.
Yes. Jeepers Creepers Semi-Star.
So good.
Well, let's get out of here, shall we?
Let's.
Harlow. I'm Mackie. I'm BJ.
Sure.
I'm Joe.
I'm Hardco.
sorry, I'm just reading this Outlaw Bird and writing about Out of Sight, so
You wrote it just now.
like earlier today.
Oh.
But I work all day, so I don't get to go on the internet.
I did not see that.
Sleep all night and work all day.
Outlaw Vern emails you?
Where are you seeing it?
Who's Outlaw?
It was on Twitter. I just
What
retweeted
are y'all
it. So.
talking about?
Oh, I thought you were talking about a person.
Yeah, Outlaw Vern is a person. He writes.
I thought you meant a person wrote to us about.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Who the fuck is Outlaw
No, no, no,
Vern?
no, no.
He writes good reviews on the films of cinema.
Oh.
Was he a Ain't It Cool News person?
Way back when,
That's
yeah.
what I thought. Oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to say about Ready Player One that reminded me, it has a lot of that Transformers, Shia LaBeouf. No. It's like at least 4 different characters do that, and it's like this is not a good. I don't want to remember that, even though we're gonna have to remember that.
What? I don't even know what you're talking about.
You will.
Okay. No, I mean, I know what you're talking about in Transformers, but because I remember Supercut. But
No.
No.
Man, I can't believe we have to watch that this week.
That's what they voted? Really? Why'd you even put that on the list, dude?
Because we have it.
because we're doing Baywatch.
Baywatch, son.
Oh, that's right.
I'm fucking campaigning
are you
for
going
that shit.
into Baywatch?
We'll see.
Some
Going-
Bayhem?
Yes.
I'm campaigning for this shit. By the way, like if we're gonna keep it as an open vote, I'm gonna openly campaign for more Michael
More
Bay.
Baywatch.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna make posters and everything.
Well, I don't think we'll have a problem when it comes to The Rock and Armageddon. I think people will be like, fuck yeah, but when it comes to like Pearl Harbor, I think, oh, why don't you watch Cocaine Wars instead?
We'll just load the list with nothing but Michael Bay movies. They
Well,
just have to pick which Michael Bay
That's
movie we
also
watch.
the thing we could do. I mean, it's-
We'll just stack the deck.
trust me, the deck is easily stacked, my friend.
I just feel like now that we've started it, we just have to continue. The trick is going to be like, getting them to pick the Transformers movies in order.
Well, that's easy.
Is
You
it?
just don't put more than one Transformer
Oh.
movie on
That's probably the saddest thing is thinking about having to rewatch Pearl Harbor and like Transformers 2. That's probably the worst parts that I can think of.
The only thing I remember about Transformers 2 is that those robots had balls.
I remember that Shia goes to robot heaven.
That, and I mean, John Turturro is utterly fucking terrible in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I
Like,
remember literally none of this.
ungodly terrible.
I don't think
Like,
I ever
everything
saw
he
the
says is like, I am reading off of a script and a cue card right now. Remember me? I'm a good actor, usually. Yeah. And I really don't want to watch Armageddon either. I don't like Armageddon.
Armageddon's great. Armageddon's so good.
It's not good at all.
I love Armageddon.
Yeah, he gets space dementia.
He does. So fucking
He gets space dementia.
He's got space dementia.
See, all right. I would love Michael Bay movies more if they were all fucking 90 minutes, but they're all like 2.5 hours long, and that's his problem.
There's
He
a lot of-
can't cut them down.
There's a lot of story to tell in Armageddon.
No,
Yes. They have to go hang out with Peter Stormare.
they have to spin around the table enough times, watching people talk.
I love that someone did an average that like each cut in Armageddon is 1.7 seconds.
Yeah.
Like the average length of a clip in Armageddon is
I-
1.7 seconds.
I guarantee Con Air is worse.
Oh, he didn't direct that thing.
I know, but I'm saying
yes,
I
Con Air is
guarantee
worse.
Con Air has a lower
Yes.
average.
Con Air, I've always said, is like watching like some sketch artist flip book, but it's like got jumbled up with 10 other sketch
Yeah,
artist flip books.
like people love Con Air, but man, I
get it.
cannot fucking sit through it.
I don't get it.
It gives me a headache.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't like Con Air.
Yeah. Hot takes everywhere.
Yeah. Con Air can eat a dick.
The takes are coming out
Along with books
spicy.
and
Rather watch Con Air than Armageddon.
No. I will watch Armageddon 100 times before ever watching Con Air again. I will take space dementia over the bunny. I'm going to shoot this bunny. The bunny gets it. Fuck that. Fuck everything about Con Air.
I need to watch Con Air just so I can like. I haven't seen Con Air in probably 10 years, maybe. So I remember liking it. So
I did not like it in theaters. I've watched it within the last couple of years and was like, no, I still don't like this.
I'm going to shut off the live stream because you're both like 5 feet away from a
I'm
microphone.
not.
yeah, that's fine.
I'm not talking for the sake of the live stream. I'm just talking. I'm
I
waiting to
figured
get.
we were done. Like
Yeah.